Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm JTG, aka Jay the God.
AKA the Human Shopping Channel come to life. A brand new Wrestling Insiders Week in Review begins now.
Wrestling fans, Saturday and Sunday night, go back in time with WWF legend, the Berzerker, John Nord, host of our weekly Thursday night program, Wrestling Insiders Throwback Thursdays. We'll be taping Wrestling Insider episodes, watch-alongs, live episodes, cyber autographs, signings, and more. Saturday night, we go back in time to relive WWF Royal Rumble 1992 together. Then, for this week's Sunday Night Live, it's Royal Rumble 1993. Head on over to BostonWrestling.com to pre-order your 8x10 photos and 11x14 posters now to help keep wrestling legends working and bring you more superstars in studio. Join the Berzerker live this weekend. Wrestling fans, on Royal Rumble Saturday, January the 29th, things are getting a little dirty. That's right. Joining us live in studio for the very first time will be our longtime friend, the legendary Zeb Coulter, a.k.a. Dirty Dutch Mantel. Dutch will be with us all weekend for Wrestling Insider tapings, Patreon watch-alongs, live episodes, and cyber autograph signings. Plus, Dutch will be watching the Royal Rumble with us. For more information and autograph photos, head on over to BostonWrestling.com. Wrestling fans, we warned you this day would come. Unfortunately, we're running out of original episodes of Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty each and every Thursday night at 10 p.m., but we're starting up that Indiegogo. You can help the cause. You can help Marty's show continue each and every week. Nobody does it like Marty. We had an incredible time with him at our 20th anniversary bash, November 13th at Memorial Hall here in Melrose. We want to have the good times keep on rolling, but we can't do it without you. Look for the Indiegogo link in the comment section below or across our website and social media platforms. We have some great perks, great rewards where you can even meet Marty himself. There's nothing like it. Since July of 2020, every week we've brought you the show. We need your help to keep on going. We tell you, without wrestling fans, there is no professional wrestling, and there's no better time to help the cause now. Let's keep Marty rocking each and every Thursday night. Wrestling fans in the Northeast, discount VIP packages and tickets to Boston Wrestling MWF Soul Survivor 10 Back to the 80s are on sale now. Jake the Snake Roberts, Axe, Smash Demolition, and the Berzerker are just 4 of at least 8 80s WWF icons that will be joining us live at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. Saturday, April the 16th, there will be a VIP exclusive Q&A session, autographs, pose photos, then the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow will light up the squared circle like it's Times Square on New Year's Eve. Join us for a party to celebrate the legends of the rockin' wrestling era. Get the best seats in the house. Save now at BostonWrestling.com. We'll see you live on April the 16th.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, welcome to the January 22nd, 2022 edition of Wrestling Insiders Week in Review, your one-stop shopping stop for our original shoot interviews from this past week. For the next several hours, kick back, relax, and remember the good old days of professional wrestling as we talk 80s, 90s, and even current events with a variety of superstar hosts. If you're enjoying tonight's content, as always, the Super Chat button is open for business. Don't forget to tip the bartender so we can bring you more great superstars, more great content. You know we're filling them up through the month of January into February. I apologize that before hitting Logan Airport yet again last weekend, we did have a Wrestling Insiders Week in Review episode edited and produced for you to enjoy and forgot to upload it. So trying to make for a supersized Saturday for those non-NFL playoff fans, with last week's Week in Review that aired earlier today, this week's airing now, and then we're going to have Saturday Night Live, a Royal Rumble 1992 watch-along and cyber autograph signing with the Berzerker, John Nord, host of our Wrestling Insiders Throwback Thursdays program a little later on tonight. Then we'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Sunday Night Live as the Berzerker joins us for a Royal Rumble 1993 watch-along and Cyber Autograph signing. Get ready for a big weekend of fun, memories, and legends. As always, this is Dan Marotti here at MWF Studios in downtown Melrose, Massachusetts, the zip code of champion 02176, back from the Sunshine State to get a little business done for our Soul Survivor 10 Back to the 80s event on Saturday, April the 16th at Memorial Hall right here in Melrose, Massachusetts. Nice to see a couple of friends from WWE over the past week while in Orlando, but there's a lot of work to be done for our Wrestling Insider talk shows these next 2 weekends, and we're now only 12 weeks away from Boston Wrestling Sports Soul Survivor 10 Back to the 80s at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Saturday, April the 16th, featuring Jake the Snake Roberts, Axe and Smash Demolition, the Berzerker, hopefully a fifth featured superstar will be announced next Royal Rumble Saturday. It's going to be a mega event that will feature a VIP Q&A session, autograph photo fan fest, followed by the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, lighting up that squared circle like it's Times Square in New York City. It's going to be a hot night in Melrose, fans. Let me tell you, WWE is not going to bring WrestleMania to Massachusetts, so we have to bring a slice of WrestleMania here on our own. VIP packages and tickets are on sale now. Save over the price the week of the event and the day of the event. Get the best seats in the house at bostonwrestling.com. Speaking of Royal Rumble Saturday, well, just so be it that the legendary Dirty Dutch Mantel, a.k.a. Zeb Coulter, will be with us live in studio for 3 big days next weekend, beginning with a Royal Rumble 2022 watch-along and Cyber Autograph signing as WWE takes over St. Louis, Missouri. Zeb has been with us for several WrestleMania weekends, but this is the first time he's going to be joining us live in studio for what will be some must-see TV. I had a chance to interact with Marty Jannetty. He's ready to come back to MWF Studios and rock like never before. But fans, we need your help. Our Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty Indiegogo campaign is ongoing now. We're at about 26% as of this taping to try and get to our full goal for a full set of tapings. We need your help using the link in the description box below or that can be found in the Premier Chat box to make it happen. We can't tape the Marty Jannetty shows without your help. The holidays are over, folks, but as Quincy Rustani once sang to Deborah McMichael, baby, it's cold outside. Whether you're enjoying the NFL playoffs or couldn't care less, have the professional wrestling streaming time of your life while helping keep wrestling legends working with early, full screen, often ad-free access to Wrestling Insiders. Our world-renowned studio shoot interview DVD series is seen by millions online and millions more on The Howard Stern Show, Patreon exclusives, and more by joining the Boston Wrestling Patreon family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. On Christmas Day, we added a Patreon exclusive watch-along where the Berzerker broke down a WWF Championship match he had with Bret Hitman Hart. To kick off 2022, we added another Patreon exclusive as Demolition Axe watched Demolition win the WWF Tag Team titles for the very first time against Strikeforce at WrestleMania 4. Axe said this was the first time he remembers ever seeing the match on video. These aren't available on YouTube. The only way to check out these exclusives is by joining our awesome Patreon family. More great exclusive content headed your way. Again, patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. After all the Christmas gift shopping for others is done, how about a treat for yourself? The Boston Wrestling eBay store has merchandise from superstars of every era to add something cool to your wrestling man cave. It's open 24/7. Simply click in the description box below or head on over to bostonwrestling.com and just click the button that says Store. It's time to kick off Wrestling Insiders Week in Review with WWF Tag Team Championship Manager Oscar of Men on a Mission. As the manager of champions and I are joined by the debuting Kevin Manicus Hart. We discussed the health of Mo from Men on a Mission, Martin Luther King Day, Mickie James returning to the Royal Rumble as Impact Women's Champion after Trash Bag Gate in 2021. WrestleMania week, Sonny getting arrested, and more. Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, welcome to another installment of Wrestling Insider's Monday Night Mission. Dan Marotti will be joined by your host with the most momentarily. Another hellacious, wild episode of Monday Night Raw on the USA Network. Wanted to get you caught up on a few things as we wait for the crowd to join us. Rushing on over from Raw. I don't know how raw it was, but let me tell you, sometimes it can feel raw watching the episode. Here we are, MWF Studios, downtown Melrose, Massachusetts. The zip code of Champion 02176. MIA this week on the road. Happy to have Oscar with us, though, as we try to continue to enlighten and incite you in the king of sports, professional wrestling. Wanted to remind you that tonight is the last night to take advantage of the special discounted VIP packages and tickets to our Back to the 80s Soul Survivor 10 event Saturday night, April the 16th from the historic Memorial Hall, Melrose, Massachusetts. You're going to see WWE Hall of Famer Jake the Snake Roberts, three-time Tag Team Champion Zaxxon Smash Demolition, the Wild Berzerker, and more to be announced. We're going to have a VIP exclusive Q&A session, autographs, photos, and so much more as part of the pre-event fan fest. Then the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow will light up the squared circle like never before at Memorial Hall again. Head on over to BostonWrestling.com now, save a little bit of money, and get the best seats in the house. On top of that, we have spoken to Marty Jannetty this week. He's pumped and excited about his return to MWF Studios. That's why we need your support at the Indiegogo campaign. The link can be found in the description box below or across our social media platforms. As of this recording, which is several days early, we are at about 26% to goal. Marty is ready to be here for several days, ready to rock with Wrestling Insider's Party with Marty. Again, we need your help to make it happen. We have some great rewards, experiences, and so on to try and entice you to join the fun. And if that wasn't enough, wrestling fans, this Saturday night, the wild, unpredictable Berzerker is back with us in studio for Wrestling Insider tapings, live episodes, watch-along, cyber autograph signings, and so much more. We will be watching Royal Rumble 1992 live on Saturday night. You are not going to want to miss the fun we are going to have with the Berzerker. I don't know if you had a chance to check out the mini marathon last week, but it is a great way to introduce you to our new series, Wrestling Insider's Throwback Thursdays, which premieres every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after Impact Wrestling on AXS TV. Then, a week from this coming Saturday, things are going to get a little dirty, and we're not talking about glance, oh no. Beginning Royal Rumble Saturday, January the 29th, through the 31st, WWE Hall of Famer, Dirty Dutch Mantel, Zeb Coulter will be with us live in studio again, much like the Berzerker. For Wrestling Insider tapings, we'll have some live episodes, some cyber autograph signings. We're going to do some watch-alongs for Patreon and so much more. Join the fun. Head on over to BostonWrestling.com for information on that one. Now that the holidays are over, it's getting cold. As Quincy sang to Deborah McMichael, baby, it's cold outside. Have the professional wrestling streaming time of your life, folks. Believe me, patreon.com/Boston Wrestling, where you get early, full screen ad-free access to all of our Wrestling Insider programs and archives of over 300 episodes. Our world-renowned studio shoot interview DVD library is seen by millions online and millions around the world thanks to the Howard Stern Show. You get Patreon exclusive watch-alongs and news, plus you never know. Surprises galore. Again, patreon.com/Boston Wrestling, where you personally can help keep professional wrestling legends working. On Christmas Day, we added a Patreon exclusive video, a watch-along where the Berzerker broke down a WWF title match against Bret the Hitman Hart. And on New Year's Day, we added a Patreon exclusive watch-along where Demolition X broke down the Tag Team Championship encounter from WrestleMania 4, where Demolition defeated Strikeforce to win the title for the very first time. More great exclusive content headed your way. Again, folks, now that the Christmas shopping is done, focus on that wrestling man cave. Head on over to the Boston Wrestling eBay store. You can find the long link in the description box below, or head on over to BostonWrestling.com. Click the store button. It'll take you right there. We have great merchandise from superstars of every era. Best of all, you know that you're helping keep professional wrestling legends working. It's a great thing. It's a great thing, folks. Everything we're trying to do here, it's positivity galore as we head back to Melrose on April the 16th. As we go back to the 80s, we're hoping to have another big announcement on Royal Rumble Saturday when Dutch Mantell is live in studio. Who is going to be the fifth featured? Here he is, wrestling fans, the host with the most, the man that nearly blew the roof off of every major arena across the country, around the globe, the guiding light to the WWF Tag Team Champion Men on a Mission in 1994. I could only be talking about the manager extraordinaire, the vice president of Boston Wrestling Sports, the yin to Dr. David Reese's yang, and believe me, with all his women, there's a lot of yang going on. I could only be talking about the O, the S, the C, the A, the R, Oscar of Men on a Mission for Wrestling Insiders Monday Night Mission. Oscar, how are you, brother?
I'm all right. How you doing? We're going to jump right in because I want to give an update on Mo from Men on a Mission.
All right, let's get there. I want to, before you go there, Oscar, I do want to let people know that we have the newcomer to the team, Kevin Manic is hot with us on the
Right,
in the
welcome,
podcast Penthouse.
Yes, I'm here. I'm glad to be here. First time.
Welcome.
But we got some serious news to talk about, Oscar. The floor is yours.
Yeah, okay. For those that don't know, Mo suffered about pneumonia due to COVID. He had a kidney transplant a couple of years ago. So when you have an operation as such, you're what they call immunocompromised. So long story short, what that means is when you get the vaccine does not work at all.
Oh, really?
Jeez.
Yeah, so when you get COVID, the vaccine is not gonna protect you from COVID being as bad as it can get. When you get the vaccine, you're going to get the worst of it. As normally you would be protected with the vaccine. If you got sick, you may not get as sick. You may not get COVID at all. But jumping right in is, he got COVID. He's got pneumonia. The kidney he did receive has shut down.
Oh, wow.
And I'm doing my podcast.
He's like, shut up.
and so he's in the hospital. He's not doing good, y'all. I mean, it's pretty, it's pretty bad. It did look up the last day or two. I mean, he was speaking. His oxygen level is at 50%. So, we need to pray for him because, his girlfriend is real worried. The doctors are not in a good place with everything. They're doing the best that they can, but, he's in really, really bad shape right now.
Well, you mentioned a minute ago, you said he's at a 50% oxygen level. Is that an improvement from some level that he was at?
No, he's pretty much been at that level. They haven't intubated him yet, which means put a tube down his throat, but he's needed assist breathing with an oxygen mask and tubes and such things like that. So,
oh, jeez.
So in other words, he can't breathe on his own. So,
how did you talk to him on the phone then?
I didn't. I know. I've been talking to his girlfriend.
I was going to say that'd be a little difficult.
Yeah, no, he needs to not try to talk. He needs to not try to talk. So, and people have been trying to encourage him to talk, and that's really kind of pissing me off.
Yeah, no, I would say just the opposite. Let him be.
Yeah, the doctors have told them that he needs to conserve breathing by not trying to talk, and they steady trying to talk to him, and but you know how these things go.
Well, I don't know if you have it handy right now, but maybe for the next episode, if you could get the address to the hospital, maybe we could put something up for the fans to send them some letters or greeting cards of encouragement. I think that might be nice.
What I'll do is I'll get that information as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And I'll text it to you, and then you can on all the shows.
Yeah, on social media too. Yeah.
On social media, that would be really nice.
Well, knock on wood. Hopefully things are going to get better for Bobby Horn, former WWF Tag Team Champion and Men on a Mission as Mo with Mabel. Oscar was the championship manager back in 1994. We send him positive thoughts, or if you're a person of religion, prayer down to, is he in Tennessee?
Nope, he's in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, he's in Texas now. Okay, well, bound to the Big D. We send some well wishes to Mo. We hope that Oscar will have better news when he updates us next week on the program. Oscar, we're taping a little bit early today, but when this episode finally airs, it is going to be Martin Luther King Day. Yeah. A big day here in the United States. You yourself and Kevin Manicus Hart, both men of color. You maybe will be able to relate to the holidays in a way I can't. What does Martin Luther King mean to you, Oscar?
Martin Luther King means a lot in that the civil rights movement turning the corner of the way oppression and racism was. He was really stellar, in that movement. He had a relationship with President Kennedy at the time, and that just, really shaped the world from the way that it really was. And that means a lot. That's just amazing. The I Have a Dream speech was one of the most iconic, amazing speeches, ever to come out of a man's mouth, to really mobilize people and energize people and touch the hearts of white people and black people alike. So Martin Luther King should have had a day. And when Arizona refused to do it years ago, I was positively just appalled and offended that they resisted having that day as a holiday when everybody else fell in line.
Arizona was the only state that refused to recognize it?
Arizona, they've come around now.
Wow.
I did not know that.
But yeah, when everybody else had a King Day, everybody else fell in line.
Well, that's disappointing to hear. I'll pass the baton to Kevin Manicus Hart as a gentleman much younger than you and I, Oscar. What does Martin Luther King Day mean to you?
It means everything. Growing up, I used to go to the King parades. They would have King parades, every January in Miami, and I used to go all the time. But besides that, the holiday in general means a lot to me as a black man in America. I think Martin Luther King was one of the key figures in history. He's one of the reasons why I can sit next to you right now, Dan. He really opened the doors for, just what the civil rights movement was. And even though, Martin Luther King talks about a lot, there's so many other people as well, but he was just that man in the forefront who really had a dream, right? And I Have a Dream speech, like Oscar said, is one of the most iconic speeches ever, because this dream, it really came into fruition. It became a reality. And I'm glad it did. I think we still have a lot more work to do in terms of equality and equity. We have a lot more work to do. But Martin Luther King was, when he was out, when he was here on Earth, he did a really good job. And I can only be grateful for what he has done. So, yeah.
Well, two different perspectives from, I guess, what you'd call two different age ranges, Oscar, here in the world of Boston wrestling sports. Are you there, Oscar?
Is he still here?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, all right, Oscar. I didn't know if you took your own commercial break, but no, as I was saying, I thought it was interesting to get two different perspectives from two different members of the family that are in two different age ranges. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go up there.
Where? Where you going?
Why are we doing this in front of people? Okay. Sorry, I'm back.
All right. Well, as I'll try again, Oscar, I was going to say I thought it was very interesting to get the perspective on MLK from two different members of the Boston wrestling sports family that are, two different age ranges, so to speak. You got the veteran guard down there in Hotlanta, and we got our friend Kevin Manicus Hart going to school here in Boston, a native of Miami, Florida.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What was the question?
All right. We'll move on. We'll move on. Do you think, Oscar, in this day and age, we'll ever see a Dr. David Reese Day? Do you think it's warranted at this point with all he's done? I know, MLK was good friends with JFK. David Reese is good friends with Joe Biden. Do you think maybe that we'll see a Reese holiday?
Well, you know what? If we don't see one, we can make one. We'll
have our own
every year.
We'll do it for all.
We can pick a day, all get together, and we could, we could celebrate it.
I think it would be nice for all the Jewish Americans out there.
It would be nice, but you're not going to rally them. They don't want to take a day off from work to do that.
Oh, I wanted David Reese. I forget what his middle name is. I know what it is because he told me at one point. I don't think it's Manicus, but maybe I know it is M because that's his social media. It's DMR. What the hell was it? Well, we'll figure it out at a different time. But Oscar, a lot going on in the world in professional wrestling besides Mo.
Wait.
Oh, wait a minute. All right.
But before we do that,
what else do we got?
I got a text from you earlier. Who the hell is bothering you now? Ladies and gentlemen, this is that part of the show where we have the segment, who the hell is pissing off Dan this week? What the
Who's
hell
pissing you off, Dan?
Honestly, with the way today has gone, Oscar, I could be dropping some F-bombs. I'm honestly going to look at...
dropped F-bombs, though.
Did I text you or did I Facebook you?
No, you texted me and told me.
I texted you?
A bunch of people. Yeah, there was a bunch of
today?
People. Today. There was a bunch of people.
I didn't text you today.
Yeah, no, you Facebooked me. And
now I got to call up Facebook then. For Christ's sakes, Oscar, make up your mind.
There was a bunch of people in the studio that was bothering you.
Well, Fluffy Guerrero, for one, was a major annoyance. She's the one with the tentacles that come down the the shorts in the summertime. You know what I mean? It's like the bottom of an Easter egg basket down there. But today was not a good one. I have been stressed from moment until now, and we had taping rather late for us. I've been searching for this email, as Manicus walked in on, that is somewhere within the past 2.5 years, but because it was updated, I don't know when, and I don't remember the woman's name. So as you can imagine, that's been an odyssey. Who else pissed me off today? Trying to finalize some 80s talent for the big one Saturday night, April the 16th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts. It's going to be the first MWF live event for Kevin Manicus Hart.
Yep.
I am pissed off, Oscar. I had a lot to do before the week ended. I got most of it done, but not all of it done. I hate to be incomplete. But anyway, so goes the story of my life.
Wow. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you haven't. Why don't you tell people why you're having such a good time tonight?
No, I'm having a ball. It's Mimi's birthday weekend. We rented Mimi's house. I got a few of our friends down here, and right now we're having a fish fry. My son is down here
a fish fry.
from New York. We're having a fish fry. He made the greatest pint of macaroni and cheese I think a human being has ever saw. So
This is the blackest thing I've ever heard.
yeah, man, it's a good time.
Well, I think Manicus is wishing he was back down in Miami. He probably would have taken the Amtrak up to Atlanta for the other fish fry.
Seriously, a fish fry?
No, Maticus, it's plenty of
Fish.
food too. You'd have had a good time.
And you said macaroni and cheese. That's that's when I almost jumped out my seat because that's my favorite dish, man.
I'm gonna take a picture of it and really make you mad. And
Well, he's not the biggest dog in the fight, Oscar. I think, you probably could have used a Dixie cup instead of a plate to feed him. He's only about 5'3". Is that what we were at now?
I think we're at 5'6".
5'6". Oh, well, he's grown a little bit since last week.
I'm growing overnight.
By the time he finished eating, he'll be 6 feet tall.
I'm 6 feet tall in my mind, so if I could be 6 feet tall in person, that would be great. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, Oscar, you got me hungry talking about the fish now, too. I don't really care about the macaroni and cheese, but the fish has got me hungry.
Yeah, no, it's homemade coleslaw. My mother-in-law whipped up some coleslaw, and yeah, we throwing down over here. The only thing that we didn't get, my son claimed that he was able to make a banana pudding.
Oh.
He was going to get a banana pudding.
You were very excited about this banana pudding on the last episode.
We couldn't find
Have you ever had
no vanilla wafers nowhere around town.
You need vanilla wafers to make banana pudding?
Yeah.
That's the key ingredient.
Of course. That's like the main thing to put inside.
See, that's way over my head. I don't understand that.
Yeah, well, no,
I know how to eat it, not cook it.
Well, the cookies, that's the key ingredient.
Yeah,
the cookies are the key ingredient.
Yes.
The cookies are the key ingredient.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what David Reese used to say about something else, but that's a different story for a different time. He used to like the cookie, but... You know what I mean, Oscar?
Yeah, I understand.
He liked the banana pudding in a different way. That's all right. And he liked the rocks pie. But anyway, on to the world of professional wrestling as we wish the dreamiest one of all, Miss Mimi, the happiest of happy birthdays. Hopefully it is the best year of her life ahead, and they only get better from there on out. Living with you, how could they not be, though, Oscar?
Yeah, I know, right?
As long as you don't fall out of that chair again and roll around like a turtle on its shell.
Oh, my God.
We can't have that. Mimi's...
You know what? I couldn't get no help. I had to figure it out on my own after an hour.
Mimi is very strong in the heart, but I don't know if physically if she could get the job done on her own.
Well, she didn't even hear me. She was asleep.
All right, Oscar. Speaking of women with M's, we're not talking about Mimi. We're talking about Mickie. Mickie James, the Impact Wrestling Women's Champion, has been announced as entering the 2022 WWE Women's Royal Rumble, Saturday, January the 29th, St. Louis, Missouri. Your thoughts, Oscar, of this crossover with WWE and Impact for, I guess maybe you'd call it the second time, the first time under this regime?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's a thing to where, sometimes, even though it's the Royal Rumble, sometimes it gets to a point to me, and this is one man's opinion, to where some people, I'm all for bringing legends in. I am, but at the same time, my other school of thought is there come a time when people just got to go sit down.
Yeah.
I mean, you had your moment in the sun, and I mean, Mickie James was around probably before I was around, and I consider myself too old to do anything. And I was around back in '94, and I think Mickie James might have been before that, or maybe a little bit after that, or somewhere around the time where it's a long enough time for you to not do it. You have no prayer of winning the Rumble. They just add you in there for shock value. You not go win.
Well, it's not going to be much of a shock at this point. I don't think anyone's going to be too surprised.
I'm not so sure that you're even going to make a good showing.
Really?
And I don't know.
You sound like me, Oscar.
I know.
I'm turning you heel.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled about this. Man.
Well, I'll ask Manicus, where he's a kind of a younger mind. What do you think about Mickie James entering the Royal Rumble just several months after she was sent her possessions after her release to her home in a trash bag?
Well, because of that, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
You know, her as she's making a not a return, but a little guest appearance, I guess you could say. I mean, I've always loved Mickie James.
Really?
Yeah, I think she's a really good athlete. I've seen her in both TNA and WWE. I mean, I don't know if I'm excited. I'm just like, okay, well, she's going to be in there. Great. But I know nothing's going to happen. Like, she's not going to win, and maybe they'll bring in Trish. So her and Trish can have their little standoff and their little, oh my God, you remember when we were back in like the early 2000s wrestling each other and kissing each other? Like, like that's going to be, I feel like that's going to be a moment for her. And it's going to be a moment for the fans to see her after her release. But, I mean, it's just like a whatever type of thing. It's like, okay.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
it's a whatever type of thing.
Yeah, she's not going to win.
Oscar, if I was booking, you know what I'd do, brother?
What's that?
I'd have Dewdrop take out a hefty trash bag and choke her out with it.
Oh, no.
The inside fans would love it.
Speaking of Dewdrop.
Yeah.
Isn't she going to be battling for
I was so floored, so disappointed, and so disgusted that she won that three-way match. And now
likewise.
Title shot.
Yeah. Did you think about dropping one in the Dew?
Oh, my God.
No.
Dropping the Dew, period.
Now, what about you, Manicus? I know Dewdrop's probably got a few years on you, but have you ever thought about making love to Dewdrop?
Nah.
Well, you're a young guy. I mean,
Nah.
Sometimes at a young age, you're making,
I'm 20.
Boo-boos that you regret later on. Dewdrop wouldn't be one of them.
No. And and just to piggyback off what Oscar said about about her win, I'm not as thrilled. I mean, I'm not sure what they're trying to do with her, but I don't know. Like, I don't even know if I wanted Liv to win. I probably wanted to see Bianca win, probably out of the three.
Didn't she win? Oh, that's right. You're talking about the triple threat match.
Yeah, the triple threat. The number one contender. Like, I don't even know if I'm thrilled about the Dewdrop thing. Like, I don't know. Because when she first came into the company, wasn't she like Eva Marie's
Virgil?
Yeah. I didn't even like that because Eva Marie, I mean, what the hell? That's like.
Well, at least that experiment ended quick enough.
I'm glad it did. I'm glad it did.
You know what? This may be her run to the exit door. I mean, we've seen a lot of people get stellar matches.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, weeks after that stellar match where you think they finna do something with them, they're going to do something with them, all right. Give them a release.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think that maybe they'll change her name just to Drop, as in dropped from contract?
That's my hope because it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
but I think it's highly possible.
I mean, going back to the triple threat, I think for just any of those girls, I think I wanted Bianca to win. Just out of those three, Liv had countless of opportunities, and that went really nowhere. I'm not sure about Liv. I don't know. I love Liv though, but I probably wanted to see Bianca win that.
Well, Bo Dallas is going to be looking for you if you say that again. You've made that comment a couple of times about Liv Morgan.
Well, wait, Bo Dallas and Liv are like a thing?
Yes, she lives on the Dallas farm in Brooksville, Florida. He lives it every day.
What?
So to speak, yeah.
This is a lie.
No.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
All right. Well, see, you learned something new.
I learned something new today.
Every week here on Wrestling Insider's Monday Night Mission. I ask you this, Oscar. Look at some of the stiffs they're bringing back for the Women's Rumble. They've released so many. They don't have enough women under contract. They don't want to bring up nameless faces from NXT that all look alike and wrestle alike. So those freeloaders, the Bellas, are coming back in.
Oh. No.
Oh, you didn't see that? Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
The Bellas?
Johnny Ace's early Christmas gift to the whole brood, I guess, was to give them paydays for the Rumble, January 29th.
Get out.
Well, I don't know if the mother's trying to get a spot too, but at least Nikki and Bella will be competing, and they're also returning.
Well, it's not the worst thing.
It is. It's pretty bad.
It's bad. No. I didn't say it wasn't. I didn't say it was not bad, but I can really think of a bunch of worse things that they could do.
I think the best thing they could do is just not have it. That would really make me happy.
Yeah, I don't. But you know what? Okay, here's when we go back to, the whole inequality issue. At this stage of the game, and with the climate and as many women as they do have, even though they dropped a lot, they have to have it. They can't have the men have the Rumble and then leave and exclude the women out, because then you're going to get the nasty letters and them nasty emails and them nasty phone calls, and then women going to want to know why we can't. Why y'all ain't giving us?
Right.
Why?
I know.
Instead of having to deal with all that,
I know.
Go ahead, you have it.
I know if someone was booking, they wouldn't have that match.
Nah, yeah, there was you. Oh, wait a minute. Speaking of booking,
Yeah.
whatever happened to Johnny the Man's women's wrestling company?
I think he's got too many women to pick from. So many have been released. He's got too much variety at the buffet, Oscar. I don't know about John Cena Sr. and his fabulous women of wrestling, but you know what? The longer that gets put on the shelf, my heart isn't broken. As I've noted, I'm more than happy to contribute to the concept, but I really think there are better endeavors that we can put our attention to, like Saturday night, April the 16th, for Soul Survivor 10, when we go back to the 80s with Jake the Snake Roberts, Axe and Smash, Demolition, the wild and unpredictable Berzerker, and many more, Oscar. But again, that's one man's opinion.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, I'm getting the signal from the back, Oscar. Right now, we're going to take a brief timeout. We'll be back on the flip side with the man on a mission, Oscar. Stand by. Wrestling fans, get ready for a weekend of the unpredictable as the Berzerker, John Nord, returns to MWF Studios in Melrose the weekend of Saturday, January the 22nd. Wrestling Insider Throwback Thursday tapings, live episodes, watch-alongs, cyber autograph signings, and more. Boston Wrestling Patreon fans can meet the Berzerker for free. For more information and mail order info, head on over to thebostonwrestling.com super site now. Don't miss the Berzerker, January 22nd. Wrestling fans, on Royal Rumble Saturday, January the 29th, things are getting a little dirty. That's right. Joining us live in studio for the very first time will be our longtime friend, the legendary Zeb Coulter, a.k.a. Dirty Dutch Mantel. Dutch will be with us all weekend for Wrestling Insider tapings, Patreon watch-alongs, live episodes, and cyber autograph signings. Plus, Dutch will be watching the Royal Rumble with us. For more information and autograph photos, head on over to bostonwrestling.com. Wrestling fans, we warned you this day would come. Unfortunately, we're running out of original episodes of Wrestling Insider's Party with Marty each and every Thursday night at 10 p.m., but we're starting up that Indiegogo. You can help the cause. You can help Marty's show continue each and every week. Nobody does it like Marty. We had an incredible time with him at our 20th anniversary bash, November 13th at Memorial Hall here in Melrose. We want to have the good times keep on rolling, but we can't do it without you. Look for the Indiegogo link in the comment section below or across our website and social media platforms. We have some great perks, great rewards where you can even meet Marty himself. There's nothing like it. Since July of 2020, every week we've brought you the show. We need your help to keep on going. We tell you, without wrestling fans, there is no professional wrestling, and there's no better time to help the cause now. Let's keep Marty rocking each and every Thursday night. Wrestling fans looking for the perfect holiday gift? Discount VIP packages and tickets to Boston Wrestling Soul Survivor 10 Back to the 80s, Saturday night, April the 16th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts are on sale now. Join WWE Hall of Famer Jake the Snake Roberts, three-time WWE Tag Team Champions Axe and Smash Demolition, The Wild Berzerker, and more 1980s legends to be announced. Take part in a VIP exclusive Q&A session. Meet the wrestling icons up close and personal in an autograph and photo fan fest. best. Then get ready as the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow take part in a night of white-hot in-ring action. Discount VIP packages and tickets are on sale now for a limited time at bostonwrestling.com. Join us for a professional wrestling reunion decades in the making, April the 16th.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
Johnny, the momentum here in Boston Wrestling continues as we continue to build and build and build. The fans want to know, how do we help? We subscribe to the Patreon, but we see all the great merchandise on that set. Coronavirus may have killed the nightlife, especially for someone like Marty, but our acclaimed eBay store is open 24/7 around the world.
Wow. Check it out.
Support Wrestling Insider's in-studio shoot interviews on eBay with this brand new personally autographed WWE Royal Rumble 2021 11x14 poster signed by WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, his advocate Paul Heyman, and Kevin Owens. Reigns and Owens battled for the Universal title in a last standing match January 31st in the Thunderdome in Tampa. This limited edition collector's poster is number 31 of only 50 produced. Comes with WWE authentication hologram on the poster itself. Also comes with an on-air shout-out from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas and a bonus autographed 8x10 photo. Get this rare, awesome collectible for your man cave and help keep wrestling legends working now. All right, wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insider's Monday Night Mission here on Martin Luther King Day Monday. I am Dan Marotti, joined by your hosts with the most, WWF Tag Team Championship Manager, Oscar of Men on a Mission, and for the very first time, one of the newcomers to Boston Wrestling Sports, Kevin Manicus Hart here talking, well, I was going to say a little about wrestling, but a lot about wrestling. Sometimes we drift a little bit, but Oscar, I had a very interesting discussion with some friends, well, with a friend in Stamford, Connecticut this week, and they gave me the top half of the lineup at WrestleMania, and impressed I am not.
Okay.
Are you ready? I mean, hopefully you're sitting down for this one.
Please.
Well, and one that I don't think is going to surprise many, a match that I certainly will enjoy as it happens. Brock Lesnar will be taking on Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship with Paul Heyman involved somehow. I pitched them the idea of putting John Cena Sr. with the Tribal Chief and having him handcuffed to Paul Heyman at ringside. But believe it or not, that idea didn't seem to go over all that well.
Wait a minute. Say that again. To who?
My idea that I pitched to them was, I said, why don't you put John Cena Sr. with Roman Reigns, and he could be handcuffed to Paul Heyman at ringside. What do you think, Oscar? Would you book it?
No. Okay, what are we seriously gonna have?
No. It's gonna be, Heyman is going to be involved somehow in that match. Seth Rollins, it looks like, is going to be winning the Universal Championship from Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble, which I absolutely hate for the simple reason of, number one, it dilutes the having two brands, having Seth Rollins, for some unknown reason, just come over to SmackDown and compete for the championship when they try and push at Survivor Series time. Oh, it's the only time of the year wrestlers from both brands compete head-to-head for brand supremacy, although they'll have matches on Raw every year, matches on SmackDown, matches on pay-per-view, Money in the Bank. And now at Royal Rumble, Seth Rollins from Raw will challenge the champion on SmackDown. I think it's a big mistake to have Roman Reigns lose to anyone other than Brock Lesnar, but that is just my opinion. Your thoughts on Brock and Roman? I believe this will be their third WrestleMania match?
Okay, well, first of all, in my opinion, I mean, they need to find something else, something new, something fresh.
Something.
To deliver the fans,
boring.
Especially after doing something so repetitive so many times. Seth Rollins beating Roman Reigns for the title, I find that to be just totally unrealistic and just un-American.
Un-American? Really? You think the whole country is going to revolt?
I'm kidding when I say that. I just find it and a whole bunch of different words that I ain't got time to go through all of them right now. Unbelievable, unacceptable,
I still say it's a huge mistake that they did not save Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar for WrestleMania.
Yeah, no, that
was money.
That is a huge mistake, but
And maybe they could have done Rollins and Roman at that point. Moving down the card at WrestleMania, another one of these big four matches, so to speak, is going to be Seth Rollins defending the Universal Championship, which is now going to be the Raw title, with the WWE Championship moving to SmackDown. Seth Rollins defending the title against the winner of the Royal Rumble. I don't know if it's been officially decided, but it looks like it's either going to be Big E or Lashley. I am going to hope it is Lashley, with Lashley winning it back at Arlington, Texas.
No, that would be great, and I'm right with you on that. I do not think a Big E match. I know, especially Big E is not going to get the title back. So let me tell everybody that that's just simply not going to happen. Y'all can forget it.
What do you think, man?
I agree. I don't think Big E's going to get it back. I was watching the interview you did with Cena Sr., and Cena Sr. says something that I sort of agree with. In a way I could disagree with it too, but I understood his point. He was saying that they should have never gave him the championship.
Never.
He should have been a tag team champ because he was good with the New Day and things like that. I think for me, I was excited to see him as champ because it never happened before, and I wanted to see how it was going to go. I've seen him as Intercontinental Champion.
Well,
I've seen him as a tag champ.
Yeah.
But I've never seen him as a WWE champ. And when he won it, it was great.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, there are people in life that have never been raped before, and they didn't enjoy that for the first time either. But
right. And it should have never happened, right?
And at worst, it castrated Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley was hot. Bobby Lashley was on fire. They waited eons to put the title on the man. The man was out of the company for over a decade for ridiculous reasons that should have been taken care of when they happened. To disrespect Bobby Lashley and his character and in presentation that way, when he was one of the few things on the show that was over, was a hideous mistake for a guy that, while he may be a solid in-ring performer, has been presented as a comedic joke for the past better part of a decade. No one took it seriously. It wasn't over. His merchandise sure as hell didn't sell. It was a complete and utter failure.
Yeah.
Wait, who are we talking about?
Lashley.
No, Big E I'm talking about.
Oh, you're talking about Big E? Okay, you're talking about...
Lashley was hot when they took the title off.
No. You're absolutely right. Because I think just being a fan, but also knowing business a little bit, I think most of it is just really about what ticket sales and merchandise, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's like, they didn't really sell that much, But I think what sold me...
Not even a top 10 merchandise seller is the champion.
It didn't. I think Roman is like the top tier right now with his merchandise. I think he passed John Cena.
Well, Cena's not around, so.
But Cena had hot merchandise when he was.
Sure, yeah.
When
he came back over the summer, he was number one by far.
Right. But what sold me on Big E just having the title, I think everyone loves Big E, right? Like back in the locker room.
No.
As far as a person, back in the locker room. He's well respected. People just was really excited to see him as champion because he's a well-liked guy on TV and behind the scenes. And I think that's what really sold me. But how long can that last, right? So
too long.
Yeah, not too long.
September 13th through January 1st. But anyway, all right, Oscar, are you in the chair for the other two quote-unquote big main event matches for WrestleMania?
All right, shoot.
All right, it is going to be Charlotte defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Sasha Banks, doing her cosplay Eddie Guerrero and Macho Man Randy Savage moves.
Who gives a damn?
Right. I don't give a damn about Charlotte. And the reason why I don't give a damn about Charlotte is because she's so fucking overused. Like,
you can raise Macho Man Randy Savage from the dead to officiate that match.
No.
And it wouldn't mean nothing.
Not Sasha. Charlotte is like... great of an athlete, but I'm tired of seeing this woman. I'm tired of seeing her. I think she needs to go AEW. I'm tired of seeing her. I'm sorry.
Do you think that since she had that facial work done, Oscar, that she kind of resembles an elf?
She looks like her dad.
I think she looks more like an elf than Ric Flair, but it's not her fault the way she's presented. But
tired of looking. I'm over it.
No, a lot of it is her fault because I heard she's hard to work with. from other people.
Especially, her having yet another match with Sasha Banks. I mean,
It's a WrestleMania main event, supposedly.
I feel you, Oscar.
Okay, what else?
And the other one, the fourth of the big four that they're planning at WrestleMania to promote around, it'll be the Raw Women's Champion, Big Match Bex, or whatever the hell she calls
Big-time
herself.
Bex.
Big Time Bex, I apologize. Taking on Bianca Belair. Hopefully this time Bianca won't start to cry before the match begins. And
Well, we understood why she cried last time.
Well, it was an embarrassment to the business, but anyway.
I don't think so.
That's not how it works. we got to teach the youngin', Oscar.
Okay.
I would've cried.
Say about the 4 matches that you just mentioned is there's still some months before WrestleMania. Hopefully somebody will come to their senses and change all of this around. There's still time. Okay, let me say it again. There's still time, people. There's still time to make this a show.
Well, I'll tell you this. I remember it would have been WrestleMania 30. What was the one that was in Santa Clara, California with Rusev and Cena? 31, I think. Anyway, I remember a person within the company gave me the top 4 or 5 matches again in late September, right around my birthday. And every one of them was spot on. I remember I had just seen the movie It when it came out. And I asked Baby Marathi, I said, because he doesn't like the spoilers a lot of the time. And I said, I know most of the card for WrestleMania. Do you want to know what it is? And he thought about it for a couple of minutes and he went, yeah. And I told him. And then he was blown away that they all wound up being happening, what I was told they were. But hopefully, Oscar, you're right. Hopefully I am 110% wrong. Do you think there's a way to include Steve Austin on this show, where he's been so heavily featured in the commercial for the show? Maybe a guest referee for one of these matches.
Well, I'll tell you this, it can't hurt.
I think to try and fill 102,000 people each night at that stadium, they're going to need some help, and those 4 matches aren't going to do it.
It can't hurt. I got one word for y'all. Undertaker, give him a call. Beg and please, open up the checkbook. Whatever number he say, that's the number y'all give him. Don't even argue with him. Just get him there by hook or by crook. This is what I would do. I would get about 5 people, get into his house at 2 a.m, blindfold him, and bring him up to the ring and make him dance.
Do you think that maybe WWE could go the route of All Japan Pro Wrestling, where they would take a very, very elderly Giant Baba and put him in a 6-man tag team match or something like that?
But what I would do, you're onto something.
All right.
I wouldn't do that. But what I would do is I would have a couple of Japanese stars come over and make a couple of matches on there, and that would make it extremely interesting and extremely entertaining.
You want Japanese matches with guys that nobody knows on shows that are already going to be overloaded to begin with?
Nobody knows, but you get a couple of them that people do recognize the names.
I'd love to see Okada. I know that.
There are quite a few, not quite a few, but there are a few that are very, very, very recognizable. And then you have a couple of, Japanese strong style matches on the card and play those up heavily. Have them come over for the remaining weeks of Raw and SmackDown that you got. And then if they're not as recognizable, make them recognizable. Have them have some of them kick-ass matches where they do a lot of that hot-flying stuff in the Japanese style and get fans popping and excited. Put those on the WrestleMania card, and then you'll have something.
This was a company that couldn't even put Rey Mysterio on WrestleMania last year, and you want to put guys from Japan on the show?
I would do it, but like I said, there's a way to do it. You got to get the fans excited about them. But what I'm trying to tell you is, there's value in these wrestlers. These are people that you can get fans excited about promoting them the right way.
Oh, you're right. I mean, there's some of the best athletes in the world over there. It's just like you said, it would take the pacing and the patience of trying to bring them over here and put together maybe some promotional video packages first to highlight who they are and what they do, then give them some enhancement wins on Raw or SmackDown.
It would be worth it.
I think so.
Well, maybe even if they did like an interpromotional six-man tag or something like that, where you take three.
It will be something new. It will be fresh. It would be dynamic and exciting because these guys can wrestle.
Well, I think that we'll get, to be honest, but that's fantasy booking as much as maybe we'd enjoy it. But Undertaker certainly he's still under contract with WWE. What would you like to see done with Undertaker at WrestleMania 38, Oscar?
You know what? Let me tell you something. Anything, having him show up will add value to it, and people won't feel like, people it'll get people interested. Undertaker has rescued more WrestleManias than you could know.
Oh, absolutely. Well, if you want to take a look at some of the big names that haven't been filled in match-wise yet, would you pull the trigger on Goldberg's last match, as he has one more remaining under contract with them? Maybe a retirement match or tease a retirement match if he loses.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, though, how many times can you tell that lie? And I'm not just talking about Goldberg. I mean, it's a thing to where people, especially me, people are just not buying that no more. It would have meant more if the retirement matches of the past were retirement matches. Not a retirement match, and then 6 months later, they come back, and then they have another retirement. It's too repetitive.
That's so true.
Believes it, so it doesn't mean anything.
What if they mixed it up and maybe they went the route of Goldberg-Rollins, the title versus the career?
See, that's the thing.
No one would buy it?
Mean nothing. No, nobody. Nobody will buy it. I mean, you can have a career match. They've had a bunch of those, and the words on a contract ain't worth the ink is printed on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, would you just book Goldberg at this point? Would you do anything with the guy?
I don't know. I would book him because, again,
I think they need the star power.
No. Again, like I said about Stone Cold. I mean,
he wasn't.
It can't hurt. I mean, I don't think that. I don't think it's going to add the value that it would have added 5 years ago, 7, 10 years ago, especially. It's not going to add the value that it would when it was really adding value. So you could take it or leave it.
I think he'd be a good ref for Lesnar and Roman. I think it would make the match a little different.
No, that could work. But again, like I said, I mean, it could happen and not happen. It's not going to mean nothing.
And, I'm sure we're going to see, for the money that he's making each year, Edge will have a featured spot on the show. Anyone you'd like to see Edge work?
Yeah.
Edge?
Yeah, Edge. You ever heard of him?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see Edge having the same impact coming back now that he used to have. See, there's a lot of sadness going on, and it's all going in the same direction.
Down the toilet.
And not necessarily, but you bringing in people, and it doesn't mean what it used to mean.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, I get you. I think we'll probably finally see the split and then the first singles match between Randy Orton and Riddle, and I think where they've teamed for so long, that might have a little value to it. That's just a guess, though. No one has told me that.
That's going to be good.
I think that'll be good.
The funny thing is, even though they try and present it as the younger guy versus the older guy, there's not a huge age difference between the two of them.
There's not.
Well, Randy's about my age, and Riddle, I think, is 35, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Really talking a couple of years.
I think as far as personality and character goes, I think that's what it's like, really. Because Riddle is this, skateboard, very surfer type young energy, like you would think he's my age, if you didn't know he was 35.
Maybe we'll see the end of the pigeons finally.
And then Randy's like a longtime veteran.
Well, Oscar, another pay-per-view news. Your thought on this? The Elimination Chamber is being brought over to the Kingdom of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. I believe that is the location for the Saudi pay-per-view in February. A lot of people are taken aback that they would have a match called Elimination Chamber in Saudi Arabia. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, I could see the argument, but I don't think it's the most unsmart thing I've ever heard. And the reason why is because the money over in Saudi Arabia, if you forget all the politics and all the offense and all the things that you say they did and everything like that, I think keeping doing business for the sake of the bottom line in Saudi Arabia is the most intelligent thing that I've heard, because, and then to bring Elimination Chamber, those fans are really going to appreciate it tenfold. So I don't think that it's the dumbest thing that I've ever heard of. Actually, I think it's quite smart. So I kind of applaud the idea.
You'd take the $50 million.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. And Manicus, any thoughts real quick?
I agree.
You agree? All right.
I agree.
Simple enough.
I agree.
Hopefully we don't get another lousy women's Elimination Chamber match where they try and do the light-hitting moves into the chamber itself. And, one thing I've hated since they started to have the women's chamber match every year, instead of having that chain or metal bottom to the outside of the cell, they put padding on there to keep all of the women safe. Because you got to keep the women safe. Even though they want to be equal to what the guys do, and they can't, but it's a different story for a different time. As you can tell, I'm still angry about it, Oscar.
Okay, with your
angry about what?
They've ruined Elimination. Well, they ruined Elimination Chamber on their own, but they made it even worse by adding the women's version.
With your misogyny, we're going to wrap things up.
Wait a minute. Whoa, Oscar. Whoa.
Because I can't.
Do you think Piggott could be entered into the Elimination Chamber?
Okay, folks. I want y'all to have a great rest of the weekend.
Well, no, this is going to air Monday night, Oscar, so don't worry. We're going to be in our regular slot. We just had to tape it a little early.
Y'all, and I hope y'all have enjoyed Raw and enjoyed this misogynist episode of the Monday Night Mission.
Dewdrop and Piggott could be the first two in the chamber.
If you have any questions or comments, direct them solely to Dan Marati.
At bw@bostonwrestling.com.
Yes.
Well, right all right. Well, we're not going to be able to get into the fact that it doesn't look like Sunny will be able to compete in a women's Elimination Chamber for probably 4 to 7 years, but I guess we'll have to say
Wait, what happened?
Sonny got arrested yet again.
Oh, man.
Got arrested?
Yet again.
For what?
Let's see, what is it? Two counts of possessing weapons and one on terroristic threats.
Oh. Wow.
So her days ahead will not be sunny. Actually, Kevin Manicus, can you get the door for Charlie Wilson?
I got you. Give me 1 second. I'll be back.
Okay.
Oscar is a man that I don't think you and Sonny were peers at the same time, but your thoughts on Sonny being arrested yet again?
Actually, we was. Her and her husband at the time came in right as I was making my exit, so I did spend like a couple of months. I know her really well. I'm one of the few people that get along with her. I'm one of the few people that actually can calm her down if I'm there in a fervor, because she was about to get into it with Conan.
Really?
At a WrestleCon pre-signing.
Really?
And I had to calm her down. But oh my God.
Well, I'm not quite sure where this happened, but yet again, I mean, this is some serious stuff when you're talking about weapons and terroristic threats.
Yeah.
Did Sonny ever put the moves on you, Oscar?
No.
Well, I've heard that she's been known to do that from time to time. I don't know if she was ever after you or Harvey even, but
yeah, she would have been quite disappointed.
Yeah. Why would she have been disappointed?
Because the answer would have been hell no.
Oh! I thought you meant in the actual love-making session she might have been disappointed.
No. She wouldn't even got a shot.
She wouldn't have had a shot. All right. Well. No. All right, well, since I surprised you with that one, I guess we'll wrap it up. There was even more news we'll talk about next week. MLW suing WWE.
Whoa.
Bruce Pritchard taking over the book for NXT. WWE stars headed to NXT on a regular basis, which I hate. And so much more for our little partner in crime here, Kevin Manicus Hart, along with the man that led Men on a Mission to the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Championship nearly 28 years ago in Europe, the man on a mission himself, Oscar. I'm Dan Marotti. We'll see you next week, right after Raw on Wrestling Insider's Monday Night Mission. Good night from Boston. Wrestling fans, Saturday and Sunday night, go back in time with WWF legend, the Berzerker, John Nord, host of our weekly Thursday night program, Wrestling Insider's Throwback Thursdays. We'll be taping Wrestling Insider episodes, watch-alongs, live episodes, cyber autographs, signings, and more. Saturday night, we go back in time to relive WWF Royal Rumble 1992 together. Then, for this week's Sunday Night Live, it's Royal Rumble 1993. Head on over to BostonWrestling.com to pre-order your 8x10 photos and 11x14 posters now to help keep wrestling legends working and bring you more superstars in studio. Join the Berzerker live this weekend. Wrestling fans, on Royal Rumble Saturday, January the 29th, things are getting a little dirty. That's right. Joining us live in studio for the very first time will be our longtime friend, the legendary Zeb Coulter, a.k.a. Dirty Dutch Mantel. Dutch will be with us all weekend for Wrestling Insider tapings, Patreon watch-alongs, live episodes, and cyber autograph signings. Plus, Dutch will be watching the Royal Rumble with us. For more information and autograph photos, head on over to BostonWrestling.com. Wrestling fans, we warned you this day would come. Unfortunately, we're running out of original episodes of Wrestling Insider's Party with Marty each and every Thursday night at 10 p.m., but we're starting up that Indiegogo. You can help the cause. You can help Marty's show continue each and every week. Nobody does it like Marty. We had an incredible time with him at our 20th anniversary bash, November 13th at Memorial Hall here in Melrose. We want to have the good times keep on rolling, but we can't do it without you. Look for the Indiegogo link in the comment section below or across our website and social media platforms. We have some great perks, great rewards where you can even meet Marty himself. There's nothing like it. Since July of 2020, every week we've brought you the show. We need your help to keep on going. We tell you, without wrestling fans, there is no professional wrestling, and there's no better time to help the cause. Now, let's keep Marty rocking each and every Thursday night.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
Support Wrestling Insider's in-studio shoot interviews on eBay with this brand new personally autographed WWE Royal Rumble 2021 11x14 poster signed by WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, his advocate Paul Heyman, and Kevin Owens. Reigns and Owens battled for the Universal title in a last standing match January 31st in the Thunderdome in Tampa. This limited edition collector's poster is number 31 of only 50 produced. Comes with WWE authentication hologram on the poster itself. Also comes with an on-air shout-out from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas and a bonus autographed 8x10 photo. Get this rare, awesome collectible for your man cave and help keep wrestling legends working now. Wrestling fans in the Northeast, discount VIP packages and tickets to Boston Wrestling MWF Soul Survivor 10 Back to the 80s are on sale now. Jake the Snake Roberts, Axe and Smash Demolition, and the Berzerker are just 4 of at least 8 80s WWF icons that will be joining us live at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. Saturday, April the 16th, there will be a VIP exclusive Q&A session, autographs, pose photos, then the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow will light up the squared circle like it's Times Square on New Year's Eve. Join us for a party to celebrate the legends of the rockin' wrestling era. Get the best seats in the house. Save now at BostonWrestling.com. We'll see you live on April the 16th. Wrestling fans, welcome back. Always interesting to hear from Oscar. He's working on big things as VP of Boston Wrestling Sports in 2022. What did you think of Kevin Manicus Hart making his, vocal debut on Wrestling Insider's Monday Night Mission? It was nice to have him with us, spicing things up, add a little bit of variety. You want a little bit of variety, folks, some great content? We're ready for season 2 of Wrestling Insider's Party with Marty. We'd love to have the legend himself, Marty Jannetty, back in studio ASAP to share his no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll take on the 80s and 90s, but we need your help to make it happen. Again, our interactive prize-filled Indiegogo campaign is ongoing. Now you can find the link in the description box below or across our social media platforms. It was great to talk with Marty recently and look forward to seeing him for season 2 imminently. As noted with Just Incredible, ready to return soon for Wrestling Insider's Extreme on Tuesday nights. For the time being, we're going to have some special all-day, all-night supersized marathons on Tuesdays. Up next, former WWF Intercontinental and European Champion D'Lo Brown is back, shooting on the legacy that was Smoky Mountain Wrestling and Jim Cornette, the dangers of Puerto Rico, New Jack and Mustafa the Gangsters, The Undertaker, Paul Bearer, Shawn Michaels, and Marty Jannetty making special appearances in Smoky Mountain. Balls Mahoney, Al Snow, Terry Gordy, Jim Ross, Bob Caudle, Les Thatcher, and so much more. Check it out. Here's D'Lo Brown.
Wrestling fans, welcome back as we continue some great wrestling conversation with multi-time WWF Intercontinental European Champion D'Lo Brown. I feel very lucky to have you with us, with everything you have going on in your world, in your wrestling world right now, to be able to come and chew the fat with us. I'd love to turn this into a regular, semi-regular thing, either or, you know, the stories in that mind of yours and the career that's still going strong in 2021.
Some of these stories.
You want to forget them, I think, maybe some of them.
Some of them, no. I would love to, and any excuse to get me to Boston, to Kellerman's, I would appreciate.
There you go.
Lobster rolls are, oh God. Okay.
Have you ever thought about a D'Lo book?
No, I don't think my life's that interesting.
Really?
I don't.
Well, you know what? Save it for me then, when you come and do our show. We were talking about some of the interesting folks that you came across in Smoky Mountain in our last episode. I think it's worth continuing because I think there are fans that they love to hear these small tidbits of information, even if it's not a 10 or 20-minute story. But tell us about a Smoky Mountain Cactus Jack who came through.
Oh, so Cactus was so cool. I had seen him a few times, you know, on NWA TV. You know, he was from Truth or Consequences, but then I got to find out he was a Chicago Bear fan like me.
Is he a Bear fan?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. So
I wouldn't have guessed that. Where he's from New York.
He's from New York, and then he was so smart. Like you see the gimmick, you see the wild hair, doing the crazy stunts, and you're like, oh, okay, this guy's just doing. To realize he was just a smart individual, and he was so kind and caring. I remember sitting down for hours with him, just talking about nothing, wrestling, bears, anything. So he was always cool. And then when we met up again in WWE, WWF, just picked up right where we left off. He's so, and for the longest time, his son Dewey, I was his favorite wrestler. So
really,
I'll take that.
Now, why were you Dewey's favorite wrestler? Any idea?
Was
it the head bob?
I don't know. I was his wrestler. He picked me for a minute there, so I was his favorite wrestler, so I'll take it.
Well, there you go. Weigh in with Cactus, too. No, we had anytime we've ever worked with him or he helped promote his different books and different endeavors, we've always had so much fun, so many laughs. I think the world of him.
He's a great guy.
You shared an interesting story early on about a guy you get to know pretty well from your part of the country, Boo Bradley, yes. Better known to fans as the late Great Balls Mahoney.
Mm-hmm. So when he got his job in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, he got the job but didn't have a car. So as he came into the Monster Factory one time, he goes, does anybody want to ride with me down to Tennessee? And I'll take you. And it was myself and Ace Darling drove him down there. And
Ace Darling from Jersey?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember. He used to work for Tony Rumble often. Yeah.
So Ace and I drove down. Ace and I had a dark match, and I got hired. Unfortunately, Ace did. But I will say, without him helping me out in that match, I don't think I got hired. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, he really took care of me and put me in a position to look as good as possible. So.
Now, Balls, didn't he have an amateur wrestling background?
Yeah, he was a shooter from what's it, Long Branch, one of the island cities in New Jersey. But yeah, he was an amateur, just like Chris Candido was.
You would have never thought it about Balls Mahoney, though.
No, you saw some old pictures of him. You wouldn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? See, I never saw that side of him.
When he got into wrestling, he went full wrestling.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Well, another one that's missed, that all ECW fraternity, they had a tough second half of life, maybe is the best way to put it, many of them with the abuse that they went through. What I'm interested in, one of my favorite tag teams that I used to love to watch, Jimmy Del Rey and Tom Pritchard, the Heavenly Bodies.
See, I didn't get really a lot of chance to work with them.
Because they were going up to WWF?
They were going up, and then when they came back, I moved on out of Smoky Mountain. So now Dr. Tom, I know extremely well. I am a big Dr. Tom fan. He's another one who's a good teacher for me. Because he came back and we got a developmental system, so we had talked a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
With Dr. Tom, I love Dr. Tom. He's got a great school down in Tennessee with Glenn Jacobs, and he's still loving the business and training kids to this day.
And you know what? We really didn't get into it much, but one of the great passions of mine to talk about is professional wrestling schools, where there are so many of them now, and it makes it almost easy, way too easy for guys to be able to break in. And it's almost turned it into the indies in a way like Little League Baseball. You know, you pay $100 and you're allowed to play 3 innings a game. And I don't think that's the way wrestling should be or the way that it ought to be. I think it should be a way where, you know, you have to kind of earn your way in it. Or if you don't have some kind of a special asset or a skill, not everybody should be allowed through the door. You know what I mean? I'd love to be the first baseman for the Boston Red Sox, but I walk with a cane. I can barely walk because of that car accident I was in with the Sheik. The Red Sox don't need me, and neither does Major League Baseball.
Right.
I wish there were more people that looked at the reality of the situation. They say, look at yourself in the mirror. Would you pay money to buy a ticket to see yourself in that position? But for those that feel like they do, you know, I wish they would get out of the comfort zone of wanting to be close to home, to a wrestling school 20 minutes away and saying, okay, I'm going to be a wrestler now. Almost like if you want to go to college. You know, you got to sometimes pack up your bag, go to a different part of the country, and get the best education possible. And I think when you have a school that's run by Tom Pritchard and Kane, why would you not want to learn from them?
And I agree. And I think when you choose a wrestling school, one, look for somebody that has a track record of producing talent. 2, look for a company that's got connections at the next level, and or other companies where you can go get work. And 3, look at the quality of the trainer. What have they done in their life? Not to say that if you've not made it to the top level, you don't have to do this, but it's a lot easier to learn from someone who's been there and they bring the lesson back to you. And there are good schools out there. You know, Dr. Tom and Glenn have theirs. There's a 3D Academy. There's Lance Storms' place. There's FSW out here in Vegas. And I'm not disparaging any school out there because I'm just saying those are the criteria I would look for if I were training today.
I always look at it like this. Whether you were a main event, bottom of the card guy, if you weren't a full-time professional wrestler making a full-time living at doing it, whether it was a lot of money or a little money, it's very hard to teach the pro wrestling industry to someone if you never did it full-time yourself.
Agreed.
It's almost like a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle. Anybody can show you a couple of nice pieces or a couple of nice moves, but when it comes to putting that 500-piece puzzle together, unless you've actually done it, how the hell are you going to teach it?
Yeah, there's certain insight you can only get from someone who's been there.
It's like a man I'm going to ask you about in just a second used to say, you know, I can read the web journal of medicine, I can watch ER on television, but that doesn't make me a doctor, and it's the truth. And that man is, who I wanted to ask your opinion about, that was a Smoky Mountain regular, I think around the time you were, one of my absolute favorite people to have around that makes me laugh like none other, Uncle Al Snow.
Al Snow. We talk. This is, and by the time you guys see this video, it'll be old news. But just the other day, Al Snow saved a kid's life in the Gulf off Destin, Florida. He's a hero inside and out of the ring, and he's one of the coolest, realest people you'll ever meet in this business. And he's another one that is an encyclopedia of this industry when it comes to how to do this, what to do, when to do, and why to do it. Al was a guy who took me under his wing and brought me up to Lima, and let me roll around his gym body slammers for a summer, just to get more seasoning, just to get more polish on me. He's a dude. He's one of the good guys. I mean, I can't say any more simple than that. He's one of the good guys.
And not only does he have all of those positive traits that you just mentioned, I just think he makes wherever he is involved with wrestling a happier place. His sense of humor is top notch. He's always got some kind of a funny story or an anecdote. I was actually mentioned in his book, even though the book publisher, the ghostwriter, spelled my name wrong, which I was a little disappointed about. But I just always happy to see him. He adds so much, just even beyond the humor and the comedy, like you said, the encyclopedia and the knowledge that is in his brain. Someone that just understands what this business is, inside and out. And, you know, again, we talk about great wrestling schools. Look at what he did with Ohio Valley Wrestling. Not only is it a wrestling school, it's an accredited academy.
It's accredited. Yes, he gets money from the state.
That's nuts.
He's no different than a college or university right
Yeah.
now. And then he's still trying to produce talent there. He puts out a weekly television show. I mean, and you know, add in all his other endeavors like Collar and Elbow. I mean,
the shirts, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a man who found his niche and he's running with it. And then when I say encyclopedia of wrestling, this man never there's a wrestling game called the Wrestling Game where if I give you a name like Tom Pritchard, then you got to start the next name with the first letter of the first name, so the next would be Percy Pringle, and then you'd have to go Paul Bear.
Keep going. Yep.
Never played it without Snow. Never. You'll never beat him. You can have the Google machine going, you'll never beat him. He knows. He just never forgets stuff like that.
He was with us. We were lucky enough to have him WrestleMania week in Tampa when we rented a home and did something called Wrestle House, which was a little different. Interviews, almost like what we're doing now, and just always a great time with Al. Always so fun, always so funny, but the educational experience that goes along with it. I can't put over him enough. I can't put over a wrestler that wants to get into this business being trained by that man enough. Or if you're a promoter looking for a great talent to add to a show, I mean, he's still active, getting in the squared circle, when he's called upon.
The cool thing about Al is, if you I feel like I'm doing an Al Snow commercial. The cool thing about Al is if you bring him in, not only will he worry about his match, but he'll worry about your whole show. And if he sees something that could be run a little smoother, he'll try to give you a little point of light and go, hey, try this. And this is about the production of your show or how you're, on a bigger level. Al is just, he knows everything and he's willing to share that knowledge. So
we were lucky to have Al when he was in charge of developmental for WWE at the time. We were lucky enough to have Al when he had the position you have now, when he was in charge of talent relations in TNA or now Impact Wrestling. So just a guy in very high up positions continuing to give back to an industry. He didn't need to take a Saturday when he was in charge of WWE developmental or a Saturday when he was running talent relations, the work that goes into that for a Major League Wrestling operation, but it just shows how much he loves the business.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to, he wants to.
Yeah.
And that's he wants to for the love of this game.
Yeah.
And that's why he does it.
That's why I love Uncle Al. But continuing through the list, I don't want to run too short like we continue to with so many interesting characters. Another guy we lost not too long ago, Tracy Smothers.
Tracy. one of my first full-time matches in Smoky Mountain was against Tracy Smothers. First time I met Tracy Smothers, he was in the locker room punching lockers. Because he had just got off a plane from Japan. He had flown in. He just got off a plane from Japan, flew in. The check he got from promoter bounced, so he was mad. And then I get told, you're wrestling Tracy Smothers, and I go, damn. So I go up to him and I say, Mr. Smothers, I'm wrestling you tonight. And he goes, all right, kid, you call it tonight. And I went, what? Me? That means he wants me to be the lead.
Right.
I've been in the business about 12 minutes. He wants me to be the lead in the match. And I go, he goes, you comfortable with that? In wrestling, you never say no.
Right.
It's like, yes, sir, I'm good. But we went out there and had a great match. He was gentle with me and listened. And if there was anything where he would pick me back up and then let me he'd take the wheel from me, drive for a little bit, and hand me the steering wheel back. And it was awesome. And it was I love Tracy. I saw him not too long ago before he passed.
Oh, that's nice.
And I remember being in a convention with him about a year or so ago, and running across the room and just hugging him like I hadn't seen him in forever. So he was a good dude.
I never really got to know him, but where I have a lot of respect for him was this. When ECW was in town in Boston, or the Boston area, they'd let us come and we'd go in early and so on and so forth because we were indie people. But he would be always in the ring with the young guys before the shows, trying to teach them different things. And I don't think that was ever part of his job with ECW.
No.
I was told that it was just something he liked to do, that he wanted to do. He wanted to see everybody else get better. And I think that's the sign of a true pro and someone that really loves this business, that isn't just worried about what can I put in my pocket, but instead of what can I do to make everything and everyone better. And those are the types that you want to have around,
It's a very common theme with that generation that we're still trying to give back to the next.
Right.
They were passing on the secrets and passing on techniques where the generation before them they didn't want to pass anything on.
Right.
They
wanted everything to themselves.
They held on to themselves.
Yeah.
Where, this is the Rock and Roll Express, the Tracy Smothers, and the Jim Cornette generation. They were very giving of knowledge. You even have to ask sometimes. It was, here it is. Here's what I think. And then it behooves you to just keep your head on a swivel and just listen and learn. And that's how you pick things up. But they would drop knowledge all the time. And the best would be, in a car ride, a 3-hour car ride to the next town. Man, you don't understand the education you would get in a 3-hour car ride sitting next to Tracy Smothers.
I think that, and I know Captain Lou gave us the signal for the break, but I think that's something that's missing from WWE nowadays, even now that they're back doing house shows. They lack so many of the veterans of yesteryear. Who was there to pass along that knowledge? You're riding with guys your same age, same experience level, and so on and so forth. It's kind of a different universe, I guess. No pun intended.
When I got there, I got lucky enough to be dropped with Ron Simmons.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, if I got my college education with Jim Cornette and Smoky Mountain, I got my PhD with Ron Simmons. Because that's where, 4 hours driving in the car with Ron, breaking your match down. I remember one time I had a match, I can't remember where it was, and Jack Lanza was the agent. And the agent is someone who will help critique your match after you have your match, and here's what you did right, here's what you did wrong. So I remember going up to Jack Lanza going, hey, Mr. Lanza, can you tell me what you think of my match? And he goes, why the heck would I do that? And I go, and I was confused. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, you got the best agent you're riding with in your car. Go ask him. And I went,
what a compliment.
And that's where Ron really started breaking my stuff down, and now going into the nuance of things and breaking down the little parts of stuff. So yeah, a lot of this newer school is missing that elder statesman who's willing to teach.
Well, hopefully pro wrestling can get back to that again. I think, there's a lot of places for veterans where they can be inserted and have great value. If you're an NXT fan, you saw a short-term run for $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, which I thought enhanced their show quite a bit for 2 months, however long he was around.
Yeah, but in that 2 months, I wonder how much you talked to guys. He probably gave a lot of input back on the other side of the camera. So.
And especially if it was a traveling tour at that point. If he had that opportunity to travel with some of the younger guys, imagine what they could have picked the brain of Ted DiBiase then. But different story for different time. Right now, fans, we're going to take a brief time out. We'll be back with more Wrestling Insiders on the flip side. Stand by. Wrestling fans, on Royal Rumble Saturday, January the 29th, things are getting a little dirty. That's right. Joining us live in studio for the very first time will be our longtime friend, the legendary Zeb Coulter, a.k.a. Dirty Dutch Mantel. Dutch will be with us all weekend for Wrestling Insider tapings, Patreon watch-alongs, live episodes, and cyber autograph signings. Plus, Dutch will be watching the Royal Rumble with us. For more information and autograph photos, head on over to BostonWrestling.com. Wrestling fans in the Northeast, discount VIP packages and tickets to Boston Wrestling MWF Soul Survivor 10 Back to the 80s are on sale now. Jake the Snake Roberts, Axe and Smash Demolition, and the Berzerker are just 4 of at least 8 80s WWF icons that will be joining us live at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. Saturday, April the 16th, there will be a VIP exclusive Q&A session, autographs, pose photos, then the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow will light up the squared circle like it's Times Square on New Year's Eve. Join us for a party to celebrate the legends of the rockin' wrestling era. Get the best seats in the house. Save now at BostonWrestling.com. We'll see you live on April the 16th. Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marotti.
MJ in the house.
Future WWE Hall of Famer, mind you. Let me tell you this.
I'm not in there yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
But you will be.
I will.
You know Sean wants to be the first three-timer.
Three-timer,
yeah.
yeah.
There you go. Let me tell you, you enjoy the in-studio shoot interviews 4 times a week. It isn't cheap to put these productions together, folks. We need your help.
No, because they got to pay me.
Coronavirus has killed the nightlife in a lot of ways. We are night owls, Marty and I, but that's a different story for a different time. One way you can help is to check out the great merchandise we have in the Boston Wrestling eBay store. It is perfect for any wrestling man cave or any collection.
That's right. Check it out.
On October 28th, 2020, wrestling's scariest night was back with WWE NXT Halloween Havoc. This limited edition collector's autograph poster is number 12 of only 100 produced and is signed by all 9 superstars featured on the poster, including Johnny Gargano, Damian Priest, Candice LeRae, Io Shirai, Dexter Lumis, Cameron Grimes, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Gonzalez, and your Halloween Havoc host, Shotzi Blackheart. Comes with WWE authentication hologram on the back. You'll also receive an on-air thank you from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas and a bonus mystery autograph photo. Help keep wrestling legends working. Get this awesome collectible now. Wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insiders. Very happy to be joined by D'Lo Brown. I don't think I've said that on just about every segment, but I think the conversation continues to flow like water. It's been great. I know we're not too far from the Hoover deal.
We're not too far from from Lake Mead. It's shrinking though. But anyway, it's a whole nother story. But I enjoy having good conversation about wrestling. It's an easy thing to do.
And I love the fan feedback, guys, as we continue to. If you're with us during the premiere of the episode, share your thoughts. The Super Chat button is always open to help us keep the lights on. If you're not watching during the premiere, leave the comments in the comment section below. Give the video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channels. All of these little things that I don't understand, but apparently it helps reach new fans. And I continue to believe that whether it was a fan of the 80s that gave up on it after that big boom, whether it was fans from the 90s that gave up on it after the Attitude Era, that may not be fans of today, I think that once they find talk shows like this, they're going to come to love them because there's just so much knowledge being presented by some of their favorites of yesteryear. So I think it's awesome that we continue to grow that the way we do. We just want to keep doing it because we hope it'll help with our live events. Now that, knock on wood, the live event business is going to start to come back in Massachusetts very strong again. And believe me, we need it with the amount of venues that we had rented that we're still trying to work out with, but that's a different story for a different time. As we continue to relive the Smoky Mountain days, a promotion that I don't think it gets the love it deserves. I think it's forgotten nowadays by a lot of people. I think it's important that it's discussed because it played a very important part in the history of the 90s wrestling scene, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What about a guy, the Nature Boy Buddy Landel? I never understood why he needed to be the Nature Boy too when I used to watch him as a kid, but you worked with Buddy, or around Buddy at least. Your thoughts, memories on Buddy Landel?
Buddy was Buddy. Buddy, he loved to live the life and live the lifestyle of the Nature Boy. I don't know why there was. I know how Buddy Rogers handed it to Ric Flair, but I never understood why Buddy was the Nature Boy. But who cares? He was another one who had a bunch of knowledge about the business, and it took a little more for him to share it, but he would share it. But you had to earn the right for him to share it with you. Like, he had to see you in the ring working, and if he deemed your work acceptable, then he would share knowledge with you. But he wouldn't give it to everybody.
Smart guy?
But yeah. Very smart about the business. Knew the inside and out. Knew how to make a crowd react in the manner that he wanted. So yeah, very smart guy.
As a veteran of this business now and someone that's in charge of talent relations in your own right, why do you think that Buddy never became a big star in the industry? Was it because it almost came across like he was trying to do a copy of Ric Flair? Or?
That's that question could have many different answers. Whether it was the gimmick or whether it was personal demons or whatever it was.
Yeah, that hurts.
Whatever it was, something stopped Buddy from crossing over to that national level. And he had all the talent to be a top wrestling star. Even more than what he was.
And that's a shame.
It is.
Because this business can use all the stars it can get. We know
absolutely.
that. We know that.
You know what? There's a lot of room for a lot of stars in this universe. So let's light them all up.
There you go, like fireworks.
Light them all up.
What about a guy before he went on to WWF as T.L. Hopper, the Dirty White Boy?
Another dude who would take every opportunity to pass on knowledge. Would take anything. He'd be like, he was one of the first that said, sit down next to me, listen to how I call a match, then go watch the match, and then come back here in the locker room and watch me how we have our post-match conversation. And that to me was like the magician showing you how to pull a rabbit out. And so you had the best seat in the house because you got to hear the building of it, you got to see it there. And then you'd come back and what went wrong, what went right, why did we do an audible here, and that was so insightful, just incredible. So yeah, he's another one who's really, really, really willing to give his knowledge.
Very helpful to
yes,
the end.
last time I saw him was here at CAC.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? I don't remember him here.
He was here.
Okay.
Yeah, he was here at
many people.
He was here when I inducted Mark Henry, because I remember he was sitting right across 2 tables over, and I remember him hugging me like he hadn't seen me in 20 years because he hadn't.
Isn't that interesting? I don't recall, not that I take attendance at one of these, but there's so many people that usually do go. It's going to be interesting to see what this year is going to be like, where it's a different time, a different life. I don't know if they're going to pack 700 in like they usually do, but I hope it does significantly well. People, you already told me something that I didn't know about as far as their teaching methods went. Mosh and Thrasher, the headbangers in Smoky Mountain.
And they were the head trainer. Glenn Ruth Thrasher was the head trainer for Larry Sharp's Monster Factory, and he was their champion. He was known as the Spider. And then there was two of them. That was Chaz, and he became Spider number 2, and they were called the Arachnoids together, something like that. But yeah, they were the head trainers there. They learned when they crossed over to become the headbangers. There was a move that they had perfected at the Monster Factory on me called the stage dive. That was a finish.
That was a good. I like
powerbomb leg drop. They learned how to do that on me.
Really?
Yes.
You were the crash test.
I was the crash test dummy. Yes. Two good guys though. I just was with them up in New York just about 3 weeks ago for an autograph sign.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we met when right before the hurricane hit New York.
Oh, okay.
We were there. And we got just to reminisce and catch up. But two good guys.
You know, I don't know if you're going to have maybe a little favoritism towards him because he wound up being a partner of yours, but I always thought that Mosh had great potential to do more than he did. I know he had that lousy beaver cleavage, and then you guys were dressed up in turbans.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the headbangers gimmick, for whatever it was, did it fit that music scene at the time in some way? Sure, but it also could be looked at as a little hokey. Do you think there was something missing from Mosh as far as reaching that next level, or do you think that maybe he wasn't given the proper platform to do it on?
I think a little of both, but I think he definitely wasn't given the complete platform and or a real opportunity to show that he could go stand on his own. I thought he was highly talented, extremely competent in the ring, and just very knowledgeable. And I think he should have been given he deserved a better opportunity.
And didn't he go on to play? Was it like professional kickball?
Yes, he would come out here to Vegas all the time. Yes.
Oh, did he really? Okay.
Yeah, he's a professional kickballer. He still does it.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and win trophies. He's a pretty athletic guy. So yeah, and you don't think of kickball as being athletic, but it is.
Real lips to God's ears when you have legs that work. And I think Thrasher, didn't he go on to manage a chain of Domino's pizzas?
Yes.
Or Domino's pizzas or something?
Yes. Yeah. So they're doing well for themselves. Thrasher's still in food service, and Mosh is still playing kickball. So they're doing well, and I think he just turned 50. So
wow.
Yeah. So. But he's still out there doing his thing.
Hey, good for him. If it makes them happy and they're doing it, and they're able to live life and enjoy it, that's a good thing. What more could you ask for, right?
That's all you can.
And I'm sure they have a boatload of memories from wrestling that they'll carry with them until their time comes, hopefully much.
Well, 50 more years.
There you go, exactly. What about a guy that I found to have a lot of personality during his ECW days?
Mm-hmm.
Wildfire Tommy Rich.
I only interacted with him a few times in Smoke because he would come in as a guest in the Smoky Mountain every now and then. But he was another one, dude. You'd watch him in the ring and he was just smooth as silk and just he could go. And he knew the business too. And you guess you had to be if you're a former NWA World Champion. You know, they don't just put that belt on anybody. So he could go in the ring.
Yeah, former NWA World Champion. That carried a lot of credibility.
And when he held that title, that belt had a lot of prestige wrapped around it. That was the World's Championship. You know, so they just didn't put that title on anybody for any reason.
No.
So and you had board of directors. It was like a 10-man group that would decide the fate of the title.
To be voted in.
Yes, it was like they decided the fate of the title, so it was serious.
From promoters from all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a serious deal.
Yes.
And another guy, I'm going to guess maybe guest star would be the best way to label him, but Terry Bam Bam Gordy.
I got to see him a little bit when he came back as the henchman. Remember when he came back to WWF and he wore the
Executioner.
The Executioner, that's it.
But he was
not the same old. He wasn't the same Terry Gordy he was when he was younger. So I didn't really get to meet the Terry Gordy. I've heard a ton of stories from Michael Hayes about Terry Gordy, and I got the benefit of my time in Japan. I got to see a lot of video of him over there doing work in Japan, but I never got to really get to know the real Terry Gordy.
And that's a shame because at his peak, my gosh, and I think he broke into the business when he was like 15 or 16, but he was so big.
He was 15 or 16, but he was 6'5".
Right, nobody knew.
Yeah, he looked like a grown-ass man.
It's too bad he fell into the vices he did. I remember Percy told a funny story where I guess he sat next to
an elderly lady on an airplane.
I know the story.
I think it was the blue one, Percy.
Yeah. As I remember the story.
Like they were trading baseball cards or something.
As I remember the story, he's sitting there, and I think he's in first class, and the lady's pulling on her med, and Terry looks at the lady and goes, "Can I have one of those?" And she looks and goes, "This is my blood pressure medicine." And he goes, "Thank you." And that was it.
What a and it's funny to laugh at now because the poor man is deceased and left us early, but just some of the crazy anecdotes that go along with some of these people that we've worked with and met and have come into our world at different stages at different times, and yeah, just a hysterical story, especially coming. I don't know if you heard it from Percy, but
I heard it from Percy.
Yeah,
I've heard
coming from Percy. With that accent, it just that was one that always made me laugh.
I've heard that story from Percy.
I think it was the blue one, Percy. What about an interesting story that I couldn't find a lot of background on, but July 1995, I think he was still there. Tracy Smothers and his girlfriend turned themselves in to the police for aggravated assault against Ricky Morton's girlfriend. And then for whatever reason, 3 days later, Morton wound up getting fired. Do you remember, was there some kind of real life drama going on, Days of Our Lives?
I was not in Smoky Mountain.
Oh, you weren't there in 95?
No, I was already off to Puerto Rico, I believe. Because, no, 95? 95 might have been, was I there? Yeah.
I think you were, from my research, not to say my research is perfect, but...
It all starts to blend together.
Right? No kidding. When you start to get the decades wrong is when you know. Because sometimes you know the year, you have the right year in the wrong decade.
Yes.
93, no, it was actually 2003 or whatever.
That's when you was back.
Yep, that's when they all blend together.
I don't remember that story, but I probably could make a phone call and get that story.
There you go. But for them to get rid of Ricky Morton, whatever it was, must have been pretty serious.
That would have been a big thing.
Yeah.
That would have been a big thing.
Yeah.
And if I were there, I probably just didn't pay attention to it, or I didn't know the inner workings, and one day Ricky was gone.
Yeah. Sometimes you find out after the fact instead of during it.
So,
what about a big Smoky Mountain event called the Super Bowl of Wrestling?
Yes.
From August of 1995. It featured a cameo. You talk about a cameo of cameos. The World Wrestling Federation Intercontinental Champion Shawn Michaels at his peak, competing in Smoky Mountain. And along with that, it also featured an appearance by a man that, you talk about demons, that joins us every Thursday night on Wrestling Insider's Party with Marty Jannetty himself. Mm-hmm. Both men had some really solid matches on that event. It helped Marty get his job back with WWF that fall.
It helped Marty get his job back with WWF, and helped Buddy Landell get an opportunity with WWE, because Buddy Landell wrestled.
Yeah, he had that short run in late '95. Yeah,
and
into
that
'96.
was a product of him having that match with Shawn Michaels and both of them turning it out and rocking Knoxville. So that's what got him to get looked at to come up there. So that was a really good night. I mean, that building the Knoxville Civic Coliseum was sold out.
Did you get a chance to interact with Shawn at that point, or just he was in and out so quick?
He was way, it was a difference between him and Undertaker. Undertaker wanted to be in the locker room. Shawn just did his own thing.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And he was like that back then. Mm-hmm. But different person nowadays, which is a great thing for WWE.
Different person now. I've had many conversations with him now, back in the day in 08 when I was still in WWE, then, I never had when I was, in 94, 95.
Yeah, different human being.
Yeah.
And quickly, I know we got the cue from Captain Lou in the background, but any memories of my sidekick on Thursday that sometimes I think is the greatest thing in the world, and other times I want to strangle Marty Jannetty. And other talk about it, just what a smooth, fantastic talent that just let so much of it unfortunately go to waste.
He was tremendous in the ring. Fortunately, I didn't get to hang around with him much, and I say that in a way where I'm not being demeaning to him. But I didn't get to hang around with him a lot. The times we were in WWE together, we orbited but never were in the same circles. So,
Yeah, but that might have been for the best.
mhm.
Poor Marty, I tell you, I know you've missed some of our regular programs, but some episodes we have with him are so deep and so interesting and so insightful. And then there's other ones when he's just in a different condition, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it's a disaster. And it's horrible because that is, and for every person that's ever said, oh, don't use him or this or that, I have always said, you know what, no matter what, every time he's made a mistake, he's apologized for it.
Mm.
He's had a good heart. He has a good heart. He cares about this business. He needs to get himself into a better place.
Yeah, that's,
And let me tell you something. If you know how hard I've tried with certain, and you know the places that help people like that, I have tried so hard. But at the end of the day, you got to want to do it yourself. You know.
that's the thing is you got to want to, because no one can do it for you.
Yeah.
No one can force you to do it. You got to want to do it yourself.
I just don't want to wake up one day and see the feed on Twitter or on one of the wrestling websites that you get that news and say to myself, you know what, I could have done this, I should have done this, I want to try and do it now while I have the chance, you know what I mean? And I just hope that, this year alone he's overcome 2 major reconstructive ankle surgeries. I think he had them too soon together. There was supposed to be a bigger gap, but I don't know if it was a health insurance thing or whatever it was, but at least he's starting to walk a little bit better now, and I'm just hoping that the further he gets away from those surgeries, the less pain he'll be in and the less need he'll have. But, you're a smart man. You know what addictive personalities can be like in this business, whether it be drugs, alcohol, or even sometimes stardom and fame. Those can be very addictive things too.
They're very addictive.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Marty, if you watch this, I know you get mad at me sometimes when I say things like this, but you know I love you. Right now we're going to take a brief timeout. We'll be back to wrap up the show after this brief timeout. Wrestling fans, Saturday and Sunday night, go back in time with WWF legend, the Berzerker, John Nord, host of our weekly Thursday night program, Wrestling Insiders Throwback Thursdays. We'll be taping Wrestling Insider episodes, watch-alongs, live episodes, cyber autographs, signings, and more. Saturday night, we go back in time to relive WWF Royal Rumble 1992 together. Then, for this week's Sunday Night Live, it's Royal Rumble 1993. Head on over to BostonWrestling.com to pre-order your 8x10 photos and 11x14 posters now to help keep wrestling legends working and bring you more superstars in studio. Join the Berzerker live this weekend. Fans, we warned you this day would come. Unfortunately, we're running out of original episodes of Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty each and every Thursday night at 10 p.m., but we're starting up that Indiegogo. You can help the cause. You can help Marty's show continue each and every week. Nobody does it like Marty. We had an incredible time with him at our 20th anniversary bash, November 13th at Memorial Hall here in Melrose. We want to have the good times keep on rolling, but we can't do it without you. Look for the Indiegogo link in the comment section below or across our website and social media platforms. We have some great perks, great rewards where you can even meet Marty himself. There's nothing like it. Since July of 2020, every week we've brought you the show. We need your help to keep on going. We tell you, without wrestling fans, there is no professional wrestling, and there's no better time to help the cause now. Let's keep Marty rocking each and every Thursday night. Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
Support Wrestling Insiders and keep wrestling legends working on eBay. At Survivor Series, it was champion versus champion as WWE champion Drew McIntyre battled Universal champion Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman. Get this 11x14 poster autographed by all 3 men. Limited edition, number 42 of only 50, with authentication hologram on the back of the poster itself. Comes with a mystery autographed 8x10 photo and an on-air shout-out from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas on Wrestling Insiders at your house. Get it now. Wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insiders as we continue this interesting conversation. We've been talking a lot about Smoky Mountain, but like all great things, even these talk shows, they do come to an end. October the 14th, 1995, Defiance, Ohio.
D'Lo Brown and the Dirty White Boy. The end of D'Lo Brown in Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Well, it was time just for me to move on. The New Jack and Mustafa had gone up to ECW, and I didn't go with them there, and it was time for me my time in Smoky Mountain to come to an end because Cornette just really couldn't keep writing stuff for me individually. So I had my last match there. I went up to Lima, Ohio, spent a little time with Al Snow at Body Slammers, and that led me to Puerto Rico, which led me to come back home to Puerto Rico, reconnecting with Jim Cornette, and that's how my time in WWF started when he suggested me for the Nation.
So going into this match in Ohio, you knew?
Oh yeah. It was already understood that I was going to move on. This was going to be my last match.
Did you see the writing on the wall at that point that within 2.5 months later that there would be no more Smoky Mountain Wrestling at all?
No, not at all.
Oh, really?
No,
really.
I mean, I knew Jimmy was splitting his time up north and there, but I always thought he would have his pet project. But I think it just got a little too overwhelming being up there with Vince, and he got deeper and deeper in the office up there, which required more and more of his time. So it's not like you could go run a separate territory with the limited amount of time that he had. So, but no, I didn't see Smoky Mountain going away.
Shame that it did. I mean, a company that I guess at the end of the day, when the history books are written, it had 4+ years. But look at the great veterans that worked there. Look at the talent that it churned out that went on to have great major league promotions, great major league careers, I should say, yourself included, in the major leagues. How do you think Smoky Mountain should be remembered in the end?
I think it should be remembered as territory that was ahead of its time. It was trend-setting, it was cutting edge, and you put it appropriately. It churned out an inordinate amount of talent that were used on the national, international level. And there's still years to come of it. I mean, there's still talent out there that went through Smoky Mountain, and now they're giving back. We're giving back to the business now. So I think Smoky Mountain will live on forever. It'll go down as history as no different than Memphis, no different than ECW, no different than any other territory that was out there in terms of its influence and what it did for the business.
You see the pundits online sometimes that attack Cornette when Cornette makes one of his infamous statements on his podcast. Well, what do you know about wrestling? Your promotion went out of business in 4 years, and so on and so forth. I don't think they truly grasp what it was that he produced.
I don't think they grasp what he produced, and I don't think they know what it's like or have a clue what it entails to put on a promotion that produces weekly television, that tours an entire region of the country, and you've got 40 people working under you, and you're producing talent that keeps getting taken away when you're getting at their height. So I don't know. I don't think it's fair for anyone to say he doesn't know how to run a promotion. No one ever says that about Paul Lee, and ECW went out of business.
Right. Yeah. So ECW went out of business.
And no one ever says that about Paul Lee.
I think it's just, some people they're so adamant that they don't like his positions and opinions on things. But I think your Paul Heyman analogy is perfect. I mean, he's looked at as a creative genius, and that company may have had a little bit of a longer run than Smoky Mountain did, but at the same time, it was what it was.
I mean,
if Smoky Mountain was ever able to get a national TV deal or a video game contract that was worth a lot of money like ECW did, could have had a longer run, Could have had a longer run.
I just think that you have to put Smoky Mountain in its place in history of this business and know that it was an important territory and meant a lot to a lot of people.
And I don't think, again, that these experts online realize how dead the industry was at that time.
Yeah, like
WCW was producing shit television, let's be honest. It was rather boring. They were trying to recreate an 80s Hulk Hogan when Hulk Hogan was 10 years older. WWF was in the middle of that ridiculous steroid scandal where the government was trying to make it out that Vince McMahon was turning Titan Towers into a steroid distribution center, which is absolutely insane and ridiculous, and they wasted years and millions of dollars of taxpayers' money trying to attack him
after what happened with that Dr. George Zahorian that was, guilty of the things he was accused of. But it was a tough time for the business overall, never mind one of the last of the Mohegans for a regional territory.
Yeah,
If the big guys couldn't do it with millions behind them,
Yes.
how were the small guys supposed to do it?
Yeah, and interest in wrestling was drying up at that time, and
Yeah, big time.
would not turn around for another 2 years when Attitude popped
Right,
off.
in the Monday Night Wars and so
Yes,
on.
but
and
I mean,
so
it was the doldrums of that cycle. That was a down period of wrestling.
In '92, if you go back and look at the WWF roster from when that year began to when the year ended, it's amazing at how many of the top guys left. Hogan, Piper, Warrior, Davey Boy Smith, Texas Tornado Kerry Von Erich, Legion of Doom, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, Sid, when they brought him in, gave him the monster push. I mean, you're talking about the majority of your main event talent.
Yeah, you're talking
And in the
top
end,
names.
look at the positives that it did. It gave Bret Hart a chance to be
Yes,
a top guy.
yep.
It gave Shawn Michaels a chance to be a top guy. So in almost every situation, sometimes in the moment when it looks really bleak and really bad, sometimes when you see how it comes across in the future, some good came out of it. You know?
I mean, you
But-
look back on it and you go, it didn't bode well at first, but then it worked out in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, it took them like you said, a few years
Took a
to
few
try
years.
to get their footing back, but
Took a few years, took an influx of young talent, and it took an attitude adjustment by the company to create that.
and I know we will probably get there a little bit later on, but I mean, the Monday Night Wars for WCW to cherry pick so many of the top talent and take them away, it forced WWF to get creative
Yes.
and create a whole new brand of superstars that
Yes.
became household names. But that's more interesting stories for the quote-unquote video book we're producing. I want to know, what did you think about WWC in Puerto Rico? Did you have any reservations about going down there after the, I know it was quite a while, but the
It was
Brody
sometime after
incident?
Brody, yeah, and I wanted to go down for the experience.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go down and see what it would be like to, actually live in a foreign nation, which is, it's America, but they speak,
Oh, so you lived down there full time?
Yes.
Okay,
So, because it was too expensive to fly in and out.
yeah.
So you'd go down and you squat, you'd get an apartment down there, and there were, I think, 5 of us living in an apartment down there. Val Venus was one of my friends down there. We would, it's
He
funny.
was pretty big in Puerto Rico,
Yes,
wasn't he?
yes. Him and Glamour Boy Shane. They were the Canadian, Canadian Glamour Boys, or the Glamour Boys, I forget what they call themselves. But it was funny, ironic. SummerSlam '96. Val Venus and I are sitting watching SummerSlam, wondering what it would be like to be there. And SummerSlam '97, we opened the show up in Madison Square Garden together.
98.
98. No, 98 was 98.
98, Highway to Hell, yeah.
Yes. I get my time just
Well, you were in the right decade, like
I was
we
like,
said.
they
Sometimes
say
you're
go
in the wrong
2007.
decade.
But I wanted to go down for the experience. I thought that working 4 nights a week would help me out and help kind of polish me out a little bit more. And I wanted to learn another style, because it's one thing being a heel in Tennessee, it's one thing being a heel in Chicago, it's another thing being a heel in Puerto Rico. And so I needed that experience and to feel that, and that helped, that helped really get me ready for when I eventually went to the WWF later on that next year.
Now, for such a small island, for them to be able to run 4 times a week, well, that says a lot about their passion about the industry.
Oh, yeah.
Was it almost like a Memphis? Was it the same cities each week, or was it a
You would
rotate?
have tentpole cities like Cagua, San Juan, Bayamon. Then you'd go over to San Germán on the other side of the island. But then you would rotate around. Like, you'd not always work the big arena. You'd work the small. You wouldn't have worked the baseball stadium. You worked the small
Right.
arena. So you would rotate around. And you would run similar cities. But you would always you would finish up something big in San Juan. So like the big show of the month would be in one of the San Juan stadium, one of the big ballparks there.
Did you ever feel an element of danger, like I've heard Tony Atlas and Dutch Mantel talk about on this show?
Every time. Literally, you'd be told, as a heel, don't go near the crowd. Don't go near them at all. And if you ask why, because they would have knives and they would gut you.
That's some heat.
That's real heat. And as a heel, you didn't want to be out in public too often, because if you're out in public,
you're all alone.
You're all alone.
Yeah.
And you're in their world, and there is no, hey bro, it's just TV. It is real. I've seen like 10-year-old kids sit with a bag of pennies, pair of pliers, and a lighter, and he would superheat the penny up in hopes that he could touch you with it, just to burn you.
Just coming down the aisle?
Yep.
Wow.
I've also seen a kid, I remember asking this story, a guy named Hurricane Castillo, big heel down there, generational. His family is like well known in Puerto Rican wrestling. And so I see this kid, and he's got a crate full of rocks sitting in front of the arena, and there are cups there. And I go, Hurricane, what's he doing? He goes, that kid, he's there every time. He sells cups of rocks for 25 cents. So then you would take it into the arena with you.
The security at the arena didn't care?
No.
There was no security?
There was security. It was an entrepreneurial ship. That's, and the security didn't care. You were a heel. That's what you do. You go to the ballpark, and when you enter, I love doing ballparks because they were far away from you. The only problem is they would be right above you as you walk through, and there are times that you'd walk through, and if you walked too slow, they would dump cups of pee on you.
Was it? I know it was Puerto Rico. I'm not sure if it was WWC or IWA, but wasn't there one of the ballparks where the kids would climb the trees and they'd hum rocks at you from the trees?
Oh, that's it. That's any ballpark there is. They would climb the trees, climb the fence, get on top of a building. Yeah.
How long did you stay there altogether?
I was probably there about 6 months or so. Yeah, I think I went from summer to Christmas. I came home for Christmas vacation,
And that was it.
And that was it. And I went to I started WWF January 7th of '97.
Did you get to know my buddy Carlito at all?
Oh, Carlito was a young kid selling panadillas at the cantinas down there. So I only knew of him as a young kid. I got to talk to him more older when he finally made his way up.
He's such an easygoing guy. I think the world of him. Did you see him in the Royal Rumble this year?
Yeah, it looked great.
Imagine if he was in that kind of condition back when he had his big run in 2004.
When he came back, I thought they were going to keep him and sign him and bring him back.
You want to know how I know they weren't? Next night on Raw, they did him and Jeff Hardy against Jackson Riker and Elias.
Mm-hmm.
Khali hit his finish, and instead of going for the pin, he tagged Jeff Hardy and went and get the heel on the other side of the ring. If they were going to keep him, he would have got the pin.
Yeah, true.
But it is what it is. But, I love Khali. I'd love to have him back. We've had a lot of fun over the years with him at our live events, and even one time in the TV studio. Fans, I say to you, if you've had a good time, you're watching the premiere, chat away. Let us know if you want D'Lo to come back. The Super Chat is rocking. If you want to help us keep the lights on, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. Over 2,000 free videos. And it lets something known as YouTube algorithms know you like us. So they'll reach out to more wrestling fans of yesteryear and get them involved in everything we do. I know there are millions of fans that have no idea we exist, believe it or not. But I think once they do, they're going to come to love us. So for my partner in crime, D'Lo Brown, I am Dan Marati. We will see you next time. Until again, you and yours be well, stay healthy. Good night from Sin City. Wrestling fans, Saturday and Sunday night, go back in time with WWF legend, the Berzerker, John Nord, host of our weekly Thursday night program, Wrestling Insider's Throwback Thursdays. We'll be taping Wrestling Insider episodes, watch-alongs, live episodes, cyber autographs, signings, and more. Saturday night, we go back in time to relive WWF Royal Rumble 1992 together. Then, for this week's Sunday Night Live, it's Royal Rumble 1993. Head on over to BostonWrestling.com to pre-order your 8x10 photos and 11x14 posters now to help keep wrestling legends working and bring you more superstars in studio. Join the Berzerker live this weekend. Fans, we warned you this day would come. Unfortunately, we're running out of original episodes of Wrestling Insider's Party with Marty each and every Thursday night at 10 p.m., but we're starting up that Indiegogo. You can help the cause. You can help Marty's show continue each and every week. Nobody does it like Marty. We had an incredible time with him at our 20th anniversary bash, November 13th at Memorial Hall here in Melrose. We want to have the good times keep on rolling, but we can't do it without you. Look for the Indiegogo link in the comment section below or across our website and social media platforms. We have some great perks, great rewards where you can even meet Marty himself. There's nothing like it. Since July of 2020, every week we've brought you the show. We need your help to keep on going. We tell you, without wrestling fans, there is no professional wrestling, and there's no better time to help the cause now. Let's keep Marty rocking each and every Thursday night.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marotti.
MJ in the house.
Future WWE Hall of Famer, mind you. Let me tell you this.
I'm not in there yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But you will be.
Yeah, I will.
You know Sean wants to be the first three-timer.
Three-timer,
yeah.
yeah.
There you go. Let me tell you, you enjoy the in-studio shoot interviews 4 times a week. It isn't cheap to put these productions together, folks. We need your
No,
help.
because they got to pay me.
Coronavirus has killed the nightlife in a lot of ways. We are night owls, Marty and I, but that's a different story for a different time. One way you can help is to check out the great merchandise we have in the Boston Wrestling eBay store. It is perfect for any wrestling man cave or any collection.
That's right. Check it out.
At Night of Champions 2020, Tribal Chief Roman Reigns successfully defended the WWE Universal Championship against his cousin, Jey Uso, in a must-see battle. Here is your chance to own a piece of Roman Reigns moments before battle on this beautiful limited edition autographed 11x14 poster direct from friends at WWE. It's number 19 of only 50 made. Includes WWE authentication hologram on the poster itself, suitable for framing and matting. You'll also receive a bonus Legends autographed 8x10 photo in an on-air shout-out on Wrestling Insiders as our thanks for helping keep wrestling legends working. Get this ultra-rare Roman Reigns autograph poster now. Fans, did you enjoy D-Lo? Let us know. We need to know who you want more of on Wrestling Insiders. Again, we apologize for the quality of the audio issues with D-Lo, The Godfather, and Kevin Sullivan from out in Vegas. We had a quote-unquote professional from AML Uncreative ruin the productions before he lit thousands of dollars on fire, ruining our annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. That's a different story for a different time. But one thing that is not a different story for a different time is our need for you. More important than ever, for you to join the Boston Wrestling Patreon family. Again, we are out of episodes for Marty Jannetty. The Patreon helps an awful lot as far as that goes. In return for simply joining La Familia, you get early ad-free access across the board to Wrestling Insiders. Full screen, ad-free, early access. What more do you want? You get our world-renowned studio shoot interview DVD library, as noted, seen by millions online, and millions more on the Howard Stern Show. You get the Patreon exclusives and more. Again, patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. We noted Christmas Day, we added an exclusive watch-along with the Berzerker, breaking down a WWF Championship match against Bret Hart. New Year's Day, we added an exclusive watch-along where Demolition X watched Demolition win the tag team titles from Strikeforce at WrestleMania 4. Great content across the board with the knowledge that you are personally helping keep wrestling legends working at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling, all for about the cost of a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Up next, it's a brand new series fans are absolutely falling in love with, Wrestling Insiders Throwback Thursdays, with a man who's scheduled to be with us in studio as we speak, the Berzerker, John Nord. We had a blast on Tuesday night with the Berzerker Marathon, introducing new fans to the Throwback Thursday series. This week, The Berzerker shoots more on WWF 1991, WrestleMania 7, Hulk Hogan, getting high with Superfly Jimmy Snuka en route to Madison Square Garden, the Nasty Boys, Willie Nelson, going to WWE rehab with Danny Spivey, and more. Check out another great episode with the Berzerker.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome to another Wrestling Insiders Throwback Thursday. Dan Marotti, John Nord. We continue to hold the record for the most weeks without changing our clothes, but that's all right. We're still looking good. When you got a sweater like that, baby, who needs something else?
Yeah, the only thing I need is a muffler.
Oh, well, all right.
So we'll talk about that later.
All right, wrestling fans, we started to talk about WrestleMania 7 last week. John was not booked on the card where he was a relative newcomer to the company, but he still got to enjoy the ambiance of WrestleMania. Did being that close to it make you want to have a little taste?
WrestleMania 7?
Yes.
Absolutely I wanted it. I was actually heartbroken I wasn't in it. But they really weren't knowing what they were going to do with me. And you know what? I never got treated all that good anyways in there. One thing that the office did tell me about WWF was, and Vince, this came from Vince to Pat to who's
JJ?
the Canadian redhead?
The Canadian?
Billy Red Lion.
Oh, okay, yep.
And what had happened was they just flat said, you know, I was wild. Sometimes I didn't know how to work too good. Sometimes I knew how to work great. They didn't really know what to expect. But one thing they did know was I would never sue them. I would never do anything to alter that company. I would show up. If I did something, I would say I was sorry, on and on. And that made me feel really good.
They respected you.
Yes, and I'll be honest with you, when I went to drug treatment, they said, literally, the treatment place said, the WWF said they would give you as many treatments as you want, John, and spend as much money as they want because of the way that you handled yourself in the WWF.
How long
so that
ago,
made me feel really good.
How long ago has it been since you had to go for the treatment?
09.
09? Okay, so a little over 10 years.
Yeah, I was in there with Dan Spivey.
Oh,
and
really?
technically,
Okay.
you're not supposed to, you know, it's supposed to be very, not confidential, but
Yeah,
what's another
confidential,
word?
yeah.
Confidential.
It is.
Anyways, close enough.
And
Dan
they put
Spivey.
two wrestlers in the same place at the same time?
Yeah.
That's a
and-
little odd, but
Yeah, it was funny, too, because I just got a big check for disability. And I'm walking around, I got $50,000 in my pocket, cash.
Mm-hmm.
and who stops by? Wayne Bloom, one of my buddies,
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
Beverly Hills. I said, you ain't fucking supposed to be here. What the fuck?
He
What
showed
are
up?
you-
Wayne
yeah.
Bloom
I
showed
said,
up too?
what are you doing here? He goes, my brother Terry's got a place 50 miles from here. So when you told me the address, I didn't know you were coming when I told you the address. I said, he goes, well, jump in. Let's go to the mall or something.
you were allowed to leave the rehab facility?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean on the right time.
Oh, okay.
You still had to go to class and all that shit. So I jump in with Wayne. We go to a frickin' the shopping mall. Then he says, let's just have one. I said, yeah, maybe just one won't hurt. Right? Right, that story. So you go on. Now, do you know who a guy named, remember Beverly Hills Cop?
The movie, yeah.
Remember the red-haired guy? What was his name? Austin or...
It's been so long since I've seen it.
He was his sidekick. Not Nick Nolte, not, what's his name, the black guy?
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
The redheaded
but the
guy.
guy that was chasing him. We ran into him at a bar.
Oh,
And he was so damn funny. He was delusional, brother. He was going to us. He goes, I just did a movie with Bobby De Niro. You know, calls him Bobby.
Bobby?
Yeah, Bobby De Niro.
Not Robin.
Yeah,
Bobby.
yeah. He says, I just did a movie with Bobby De Niro, but they gave him his own dressing room, and they don't me. I'm a star, he says, and me and Wayne are looking at each other going, this fucking guy's gone. Calling him Bobby De Niro, and he should have a dressing room like Robert De Niro? Anyways, and then I got back safe, and I got no trouble or nothing, but...
Did they know you had a drink when you got back to the rehab facility?
No, we kept that one
You
undercover.
kayfabe that one.
Dan Spivey called me, though, when I got home. He goes, I heard you were drinking. I said, yeah, I'm a lying piece of shit. And he goes, nah. He couldn't help but laugh. He ended up having an affair with Ann Gordon, who worked for the WWF.
Danny Spivey did?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
And then they got married, and now they're still married. Dan's 8th marriage.
8th?
Yeah.
Now, funny enough, he owns or owned one of the
A
other.
well drilling.
A what?
Well, his family owns a well drilling.
He opened a breakfast joint
Did he?
in Beverly Hills, Florida, where I used to be. Yeah. And I thought, because when I
didn't know
I had
that.
family down there, and I didn't know. One day, I just
Fucker,
happened
you
to
don't
come.
tell me shit.
I happened to come across the advertisement, and I couldn't believe it was him. But
Well-
I didn't know he married Ann Russo Gordon. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, they did.
It
yeah,
must have,
no.
was it before?
During
no,
he
WWF
was
or
in,
after?
He was in treatment.
Yeah.
And when he got into treatment, Ann got him in. She was in charge of the whole treatment deal.
Right.
Got him in. They started talking to each other. Next thing, and Ann's not exactly a beauty queen, but that's saying it nice. But anyways, sorry, Dan. Sorry, Ann. Anyways, and so they just started getting together, and I'm down there going, what the fuck, where am I? What's going on? And Dan goes, I don't know if you figured it out yet. I said, what? He goes, me and Ann are having an affair. And I go, oh yeah, I knew that.
And this
he
is while
goes,
you
he goes, yeah, I figured you did.
This was while you were still at the facility?
That's when he was still at the facility. Then he started working at the facility because he was such a good patient, right?
Oh, he got a job there. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I'm still the fucking worst of the worst in the fucking patient. I'm sneaking shit. I'm putting poop in guys' beds and cottage cheese in their underwear. And, oh, I was a terrible patient.
How long were you there?
2 months.
2 months.
But I'll tell you, it was kind of a shit place. I didn't like it.
Oh, really?
Nah. It's in Tampa, Florida. And I met a girl down there, and I brought her home because I had that chunk of cash. And I'm so fucked up that I was scared to touch her down here.
Why?
Because I didn't know what was in there. I was a little scared. I know that sounds crazy. Because remember, I'm with a 56-year-old white girl. I thought maybe it was all wrinkled and sticking up. And shit.
Was that the oldest woman you were ever with at that point?
Oh, well, I was 53, I think.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but no, I regret now. I should have just went down and chomped away. But I regret it because I had been with so few women except my wife. Do you know what I mean? That you get a little nervous because my wife, I knew.
You knew the body.
She was perfect to me. You know, and so when I'm digging this other, I didn't know if I was going to find a turd hanging out or something.
Were you recently separated from your wife at that point?
No, we've been divorced for 5 years.
Oh, okay. So you took kind of a break from the females? Or just elderly ones?
Yeah,
well,
they
older
just didn't
ones.
like me very much. Oh. But no, then I ended up getting a rash of girlfriends, like 4 of them. and nice looking, you know. And I still just can't. I just still can't. Women are with me are just hard to get along with. I'm like, you know, I don't have much time for them. I want to start loving them again, but God, how about just being a fun, nice girl instead of I want that, I want that.
You meet the ones that want a little more than the love and
Yeah,
romance.
one time I was laying on this one's couch, and I had all the money. I was in her apartment, and I was paying for everything. And I'm looking at TV, I'm watching the Beverly Hillbillies, and she goes, I think it would be better if you left. I went, me? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll get my shit. I packed it for you. Go.
Wow.
Yes, what I'm saying?
Well, maybe it's better you're in your little
It was
townhouse
way
than
better
you're
I
now.
got out of that one.
Yeah.
She would have killed me in the middle of the night.
Well, it's definitely better than that she left.
Yeah.
Interesting, odd, almost segue. We look back at WrestleMania 7. You said the night before you enjoyed the night with Mr. Perfect and The Undertaker, and the next day, so it began. The Undertaker's undefeated streak that started at 21-0 with a victory over a guy that I think you probably had many interactions with, the Superfly Jimmy Snuka.
Ah, Jimmy! I love Jimmy Snuka. I got a great Jimmy Snuka story.
Let's hear him, baby.
Okay. Me and Jimmy are somewhere in Pennsylvania, and we just did a shot, I think Scranton or something, and we just got to go to Madison Square Garden. And we're driving there together, and I'm driving, and it's just me and him. And we stop at the dope dealer, and we buy a bag of powder coke, right? And me and Jimmy are doing bumps. We can't talk, Carly. And we're driving, and we get to the garden like an hour late, right? After the matches have started.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The security guard comes running out. Roll down the windows. Security guard goes, Nord, you missed your match. That's okay. Snuka, you can still make yours. Go ahead. And Jimmy goes, not tonight. I thought it was funny.
He wouldn't get
So
out.
anyways, I told this story to a lot of guys around where I live, and now everybody's going, not tonight.
Now, was Jimmy angry that they wouldn't let you in, or?
No, he was just so
High?
high. He was high, and he goes, not tonight.
And that was at MSG.
What?
That where this happened? It was at MSG?
Yes. Not tonight. Oh, yeah, me and Jimmy wrestled a lot. I got a lot of stories, but, you know, here's Jimmy, long story short, is if you wrestled him, he was like a fine piece of crystal. If you slammed him too hard, he would shatter into a million pieces. That's how much his body was brittle.
Really?
From over the years.
Yeah.
Jimmy went up like a feather. And you just barely slam him so he didn't crystallize. But
right,
it's hard to say that unless you're a wrestler.
Unless you're a worker, right. Yeah. All right, wrestling fans, we're going to take a brief time out. We got the cue from John C. Manicus Riley. Unfortunately, I should say, that we'll be coming back from the break tonight.
Not tonight.
Wrestling fans, Saturday and Sunday night, go back in time with WWF legend, the Berzerker, John Nord, host of our weekly Thursday night program, Wrestling Insider's Throwback Thursdays. We'll be taping Wrestling Insider episodes, watch-alongs, live episodes, cyber autographs, signings, and more. Saturday night, we go back in time to relive WWF Royal Rumble 1992 together. Then, for this week's Sunday Night Live, it's Royal Rumble 1993. Head on over to BostonWrestling.com to pre-order your 8x10 photos and 11x14 posters now to help keep wrestling legends working and bring you more superstars in studio. Join the Berzerker live this weekend. Fans, we warned you this day would come. Unfortunately, we're running out of original episodes of Wrestling Insider's Party with Marty each and every Thursday night at 10 p.m., but we're starting up that Indiegogo. You can help the cause. You can help Marty's show continue each and every week. Nobody does it like Marty. We had an incredible time with him at our 20th anniversary bash, November 13th at Memorial Hall here in Melrose. We want to have the good times keep on rolling, but we can't do it without you. Look for the Indiegogo link in the comment section below or across our website and social media platforms. We have some great perks, great rewards where you can even meet Marty himself. There's nothing like it. Since July of 2020, every week we've brought you the show. We need your help to keep on going. We tell you, without wrestling fans, there is no professional wrestling, and there's no better time to help the cause now. Let's keep Marty rocking each and every Thursday night. All right, wrestling fans, welcome back. What a way for The Undertaker's streak to begin at WrestleMania with the win over an icon like Jimmy Snuka. Did you know Jimmy from AWA before WWF? Or were you guys there at the same time?
I did know Jimmy from Japan.
Oh, from Japan, okay.
And I also knew in '85, and I also knew Jimmy from Wrestle Rock at the St. Paul Civic Center, me and Brody versus Greg Gagne and Jimmy Snuka, called Wrestle Rock in 1987.
Now, was Jimmy always big into the medicine, as the Sheik would say?
Nah.
Really?
He liked the pot, but not the coke.
Oh, really? Okay.
But Jimmy was just a great guy, you know. I mean, the nicest guy you could ever run into or talk to. He was a fine man. I know later in life he got absolutely batshit crazy, but he was a great guy.
I met him for the first time in '93 when I was working for Tony Rumble. Mm-hmm. And the last time we actually had an event for him at the same venue you're going to be at Saturday night, April the 16th. Okay. When we go back to the 80s, we did a Jimmy Snuka Appreciation Night. And I have to say, out of every encounter I ever had with him, by far, that was the last time I saw him, was the most clear-headed he ever was. It was amazing to me. So I don't know if he
had streaks of being clear-headed. All guys do that, use drugs and drink. Like, he might show up totally perfect, clear-headed. Other times they might be just out of it, you know, and that's what it was. You're right.
Yeah, it was blown away.
Yeah.
Blown away. He did a Q&A with the fans that was very clear and remarkable, and, you know, I'd never really seen that side of him before. Yeah, and it's nice.
That's a good point.
Nice that it happened towards the end. I think his wife Carol that he wound up with was a really nice lady.
Oh.
I don't know if you ever met her.
No, I never met. Is that a second wife?
At least.
Well, I know his son was a great athlete, good baseball player.
Yeah, well, one of his sons wound up wrestling. His daughter is still with WWE now, Tamina.
Is she?
Yeah. And she's a little long in the tooth. She's older than me. But
wow.
I don't know if that's like a thank you Jimmy Snuka award that they give to her. But
see, I don't follow that. Yeah. I just don't. But I might start keeping up.
Yeah, she was just on Raw last night, as a matter of fact. Tamina.
I don't even know that stuff.
Well,
I don't. I'm a hillbilly. I don't know nothing.
No, don't. You got to give yourself more credit than that. But you said you had a lot of Jimmy stories. What do you think about the story that unfortunately kind of took over his existence in his final years, as he was suffering from stomach cancer, when he had to go back in time to what happened back in, I believe, 1983 with his road mistress, Nancy Argentino, and her death, which was labeled a murder after he changed his story
that he gave to the police to what he put in his autobiography very, 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 very differently.
Yeah.
He should have kept that one out of the book.
Yeah. Dan, I just don't know.
You don't know.
That I just don't know. All I know is I love Jimmy, and I can see him flipping,
Having a
out,
moment.
having a moment. I could see Jimmy doing that, definitely. But the other side is he's the nicest guy in the world.
Exactly.
And so
Yeah.
I
yeah.
don't. Here's the deal: is I don't know.
You don't know.
I just flat don't know. I could never say one way or another because he's so much like we just said.
And you can't even say, quote unquote, he lucked out avoiding having to go through trial because they didn't find him mentally fit, as he passed away just a couple of months later from the stomach cancer. So,
Yeah, he must have had a great lawyer. But the thing of it is Jimmy he went home to be with the Lord. And Jimmy
That's a good way to put it.
Jimmy was very much into the Lord anyways. So Jimmy, it was time for Jimmy to go.
If it is true, though, I say it's sad that the Argentino family never got their piece. But that's a different story for a different episode, I guess. But, let me ask you this. Aside from that, as far as the professional wrestler Superfly Jimmy Snuka goes, how do you think he should be remembered? For his contributions to the sport.
To the sport, as an absolute icon. The Superfly off the top rope is what made. Do you know how many people came to see him jump off the top rope? More than you could ever believe. More than Roddy Piper's skirt. More than Hulk Hogan. More than Roddy hitting him with coconuts. More than anything. They came to watch the Superfly.
Do you think that if he was more trustworthy, not missing shots, not into the drugs as much as he was, he could have been as big as Hogan?
I don't know. No. I don't. And
that's
it's
honest.
Just because, listen, Hogan's 6'5", 300 and 22-inch arms, 23, on Johnny Carson and all that, and he's an American type thing.
Fair enough.
Jimmy's a Tongan, and it ain't gonna happen to a Tongan as easy it is as an American.
Right.
Americans still Americans. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
Yeah, unfortunately. Maybe it'll change someday, but right now we're still kind of a little bit prejudiced that way.
I got you. I hear what you're saying. Interesting vantage point as always. Another very memorable story that came from this event, and I didn't realize how long, how many others were involved, but the party with Willie Nelson. Where the Nasty Boys and Kurt Hennig and Larry Hennig, who Kurt flew out, and some others all celebrated with Willie Nelson, and a coked up Willie wound up with one of the WWF Tag Team Championship belts. Were you around for that, or I'm sure you had to have heard about it?
Well, absolutely. First of all, the first time we ever ran into Willie Nelson was in Dublin, Ireland.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. We're at a cafe, and it was the Highwaymen. Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson, and who's the fourth?
I don't know.
Johnny Cash, Chris Christopherson, Willie Nelson, and one more. But anyways, Willie gave his headband because that fucking Knobs, bogarted. I wanted that fucking. I wanted
the headband.
I wanted the red-headed stranger's napkin, and Knob got it before me. You son of a bitch. I just remember thinking that. I didn't ever say nothing to Knob. But what happened, then Willie was playing at a place called Medina, Minnesota. Mm-hmm. Now, Medina has a huge dance floor. a huge everything. They have weddings. It's been there for years. And when you say Medina, you just know it's a big wedding rec thing, concert place. But it's not like a Civic Center or a Target Center. It's not like that. But Willie played there, and me and Wayne Bloom went there together and went in Willie's bus and started giving him Percocets and beer. And we,
How old was Willie Nelson?
he had to be fucking 70. He's 100 now, I think. And he just 100. Me and him just started eating perks, and then we were in the front row while he was singing, and it was funny. And what's amazing, Willie didn't miss a beat on stage.
He was
Nothing.
Willie was one of the boys.
He was exactly like a wrestler. You do that match perfectly, and you're a mess. How is that possible? Willie sings perfectly, just like the album, but he's a mess. He barely gets off the bus. He gets on the stage. Blue eyes crying in the rain. You know, it's perfect. So, it's pretty cool.
So there were few encounters with Willie and the boys back in that era.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, number one, the only one I had was Medina.
Okay.
And I told Kurt about, I remember Kurt was just pissed he wasn't there, you know.
He was a Willie Nelson guy too?
Oh, yeah. Kurt's biggest mark, he was the biggest fan by far of Hank Williams Jr.
Really? Okay.
Oh, my God.
He must have loved the Monday Night Football
he
theme
named
song.
his youngest kid after him.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Hey, Hank, let's talk about your daddy. Did your daddy really love that?
This is almost turning into a musical.
Answer, Hoss. You gotta just Hank Jr. If you listen to the music, it's still as good now as it was. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go home and listen to it.
We got you in the mood.
Yeah, it's just great, just unbelievable music. Hank Jr. was just an icon too, but Hank Sr. started it all. Died in 1951 Cadillac. Threw up on his own throw up.
Wow. So I didn't know that.
Yep.
Well, see, and you say you don't have stories, my God. But were you jealous to learn that Willie ran off with one of the tag team titles?
No. It's Willie. How can you not?
You
like
didn't even
Willie?
get a spot on the show, and Willie Nelson wound up with one of the belts.
I know, but I just love Willie so much. He don't got a mean bone in his body. He'd give you anything, and the poor guy owes more taxes for a while than all of America put together. But the point is if when you meet him and talk to him and party with him a little bit, you absolutely fall in love with the guy.
Great guy?
The best. Not a mean bone in his body.
All right, wrestling fans, not a mean bone in his body either, except when you get him angry inside the squared circle.
Hey.
Or if you're not with us on the flip side, as we continue with more Wrestling Insiders Throwback Thursdays. We'll be back with John Nord.
Thank you.
Wrestling fans, Saturday and Sunday night, go back in time with WWF legend, the Berzerker, John Nord, host of our weekly Thursday night program, Wrestling Insiders Throwback Thursdays. We'll be taping Wrestling Insider episodes, watch-alongs, live episodes, cyber autographs, signings, and more. Saturday night, we go back in time to relive WWF Royal Rumble 1992 together. Then, for this week's Sunday Night Live, it's Royal Rumble 1993. Head on over to BostonWrestling.com to pre-order your 8x10 photos and 11x14 posters now to help keep wrestling legends working and bring you more superstars in studio. Join the Berzerker live this weekend. Wrestling fans, on Royal Rumble Saturday, January the 29th, things are getting a little dirty. That's right. Joining us live in studio for the very first time will be our longtime friend, the legendary Zeb Coulter, a.k.a. Dirty Dutch Mantel. Dutch will be with us all weekend for Wrestling Insider tapings, Patreon watch-alongs, live episodes, and cyber autograph signings. Plus, Dutch will be watching the Royal Rumble with us. For more information and autograph photos, head on over to bostonwrestling.com. Wrestling fans, we warned you this day would come. Unfortunately, we're running out of original episodes of Wrestling Insider's Party with Marty each and every Thursday night at 10 p.m., but we're starting up that Indiegogo. You can help the cause. You can help Marty's show continue each and every week. Nobody does it like Marty. We had an incredible time with him at our 20th anniversary bash, November 13th at Memorial Hall here in Melrose. We want to have the good times keep on rolling, but we can't do it without you. Look for the Indiegogo link in the comment section below or across our website and social media platforms. We have some great perks, great rewards where you can even meet Marty himself. There's nothing like it. Since July of 2020, every week we've brought you the show. We need your help to keep on going. We tell you, without wrestling fans, there is no professional wrestling, and there's no better time to help the cause now. Let's keep Marty rocking each and every Thursday night. All right, wrestling fans, we're talking a little wrestling. We're talking a little country music. What did you think of the Nasty Boys? Who knows if they'll come up again?
The Nasty Boys?
We had them here with us
the
in studio last
Boys
year.
Are great guys. I watched them break into Brad Rankin's camp. We had an RV at our car lot too. We had RVs, and we took them up north. Him and Sags. You know, they've been in town maybe a month. They didn't know anybody. We took them up north, and a buddy of ours was driving. And, you know, the side window on an RV, and you got the big steering wheel. He was taking screwdrivers and throwing them on windshields. I mean, that's how completely nuts we were.
Yeah.
And Knobs and Sags just went, I've never seen anybody this crazy. And we thought we were the craziest. But you weren't. We had Bloom. We had a guy named Dan Johnson who played for the Dolphins from 81 to 89. He is a great football player, but he's right in the middle all the time. He was our buddy, Kurt. He was right there. Anyways, I don't know where I was going with that. I had another brain fart.
We were just talking the Nasty Boys.
Oh, the Nasty Boys. Yeah, and great guys. Great guys. I don't have a bad word. I love Sags. I mean, I love Sags, but I love Knobs probably more, because how bad he gets on guys in the locker room. Like,
he's in rough shape right now.
Yeah, oh God, well, they both are. But,
Knobs has been hospitalized for a couple of months. I don't know if you knew about that.
Who?
Knobs.
Knobs, really?
Yeah.
That don't surprise me, because, I did know about that. I know they're both, Sags might be in really good shape as far as healthy. But Knobs, it don't surprise me. And here's the thing about the Nasty Boys. Greatest guys, but I'll tell you what. You talk about guys with two left feet. They couldn't work for nothing. They have no athletic ability at all. You go like this, and they tip over. But they're great guys. And here's the craziness of wrestling. They gave them the belts.
That they gave to Willie Nelson.
But you tell me that ain't nuts. That's nuts. The WWF will give a derelict the truth and give him a great job. An absolute derelict, nightmare, river bottom nightmare guy, and just a nut, and give him a good job and a push. And then you get a normal guy who's athletic, and they won't do nothing with him. Now that's fucked up. That pisses me off. Because listen, you spend all this time in the gym, and you got guys in the gym, working out, trying to look good for wrestling, make it look, like, you don't take no shit. Anybody says it's fake in the bar, you punch them. and then you get a derelict, and that's okay. You see what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, makes complete sense.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, we had a very interesting weekend with the Nasties last year for the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. My dear God. I'll say this, the interviews we did with Jerry Saggs, absolutely fantastic. Brian wasn't at his best health-wise even at that point.
Wasn't he?
He actually had to use the loading dock as the men's room because he couldn't make it up the ramp. But that's a different story for a different time.
That's too bad.
And the live interview they did with the fans, they didn't really endear themselves to them as they kind of.
That's too bad.
They were a little too nasty maybe. But Jerry Saggs, what a very, very I really didn't know him. What a really smart guy.
He's intelligent.
Very, very intelligent. I'd love to
See,
have
he
him
went
back.
to, like, I think, junior college and stuff.
Did he?
Yeah, Saggs just has you can talk to him. He's very easy to talk to.
Knobs, like you said, is a little more on the wild
Yeah,
side.
he's nuts. But I can tell you this. You talk about two guys that got lucky to get a push because their athletic ability was hideous.
Did you ever work them?
Yeah.
We're up in AWA?
AWA. I'm trying to think if I did in the WWF. But I'll tell you this. I know they didn't want to work with me.
Really?
Because, yeah. I remember when I was working with Bret Hart, and Bret goes, he was kind of nervous about working with me, and he goes, you're not exactly the nasty boys here. Meaning that was a compliment to me that the nasty boys are, if those guys are watching, let me tell you something. Guys, I don't mean no bad. You guys know I love you. I wouldn't have took you up north in my RV if I didn't. But you guys would fall over your own feet, and you know it. Now what?
Hey, you know what? Too bad they couldn't have got a little more mileage out of Willie. But I don't think Willie would have wanted to have been a heel.
Well, they're lucky they got everything they got. My God, Saggs ended up with $1 million lawsuit. Knobs, they ended up so damn lucky. It's insane.
It's crazy how it works out for some and not the others. Talking about one of your Minnesota friends, Big Boss Man defeated Intercontinental Champion Mr. Perfect via DQ. That night, Boss Man had the real boss in his corner, Andre the Giant. In 1991, which was coming towards the tail end of his time, how much pain was Andre in at that point? He wasn't moving well.
He was in a ton of pain.
Yeah.
He was a ton of pain. I would literally play cribbage with Andre in the locker room. Now, that's when Arnie Skolin didn't. If Arnie wasn't there in the town, and Andre was, and didn't have nobody to play cribbage, I knew how to play. So I said, hey, boss, you mind if I play? Sure, John. He really liked me. And he would sit there, and I would watch him drink a whole bottle of brandy.
Wow.
And that would take,
ease it a little
that
bit?
would take the pain away. Bottom line.
How hard was it for him to navigate through rent-a-cars? Would they have
he didn't rent no cars.
Yeah.
He didn't rent no cars. They had nothing. They had this big conversion van that actually many years ago, Jake Roberts was the driver.
I thought he didn't like Jake.
No, I'm talking many years. When Jake was like 20 years old.
Oh, okay.
He probably didn't. And anyways, Dan, he didn't have to, because Vince made sure that he had everything taken care of.
He took care of Andre.
He got a conversion van with a big chair. He got the room he got was a king size bed. Period. In Japan, the biggest room they could find. Otherwise, his feet were sticking out the window, damn near. Really, for real. And on and on. But Vince did everything. He tried to get Andre 2 first-class seats together so he could get the arm up and sit 2 first-class seats. and he'd pay for it. And Andre was worth all that because wherever Andre went, if you were on his card, you had a huge payday.
Yeah.
It was a sellout. That's pretty cool. That's why you get your booking sheet and you go, Andre once, Andre twice. Come on, more Andre. Andre 3, that's good. More. And Hogan was a little bit like that, but not like Andre. Andre was automatic sellout.
What about Warrior?
No.
Meant nothing. Well, didn't
not
mean
so
as
much.
much. No.
Not so much.
Savage?
No.
All right. Well,
They were sick of Savage.
they had enough. Well, he had, by the time you came in, yeah, he had been
I
there
was
quite a
sick
while.
of Savage.
Well, speaking of the Hulkster himself, he won the WWF World Title for the third time over that Iraqi sympathizing Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
Did you think it was a boost to the WWF after a year to finally see the championship back on Hogan again? The Warrior experiment really didn't work with him as the guy.
Wait, when did he win it?
A Warrior won it at WrestleMania 6.
When did Hulkster win it?
He won it back at WrestleMania 7.
Yeah, that gave it a boost. I know that if you're on Hulk's card, you got paid better. So that's all we went by, was you got paid better if you're on Andre or Hulk's card. And if you're on a card with like Sergeant Slaughter versus Terry Daniels, you might as well say $100. You know, it was a joke. But yeah, you're right. I think it was a boost, Dan.
What did you think of the Hulkster? What did you think of Hulk? As a guy and as a professional?
One thing I got to say I love about him is one night I blew all my money. I blew it, just blew it. And I says, Hulkster, give me $500. He pulled it out of his pants so quick. And he goes, here, boom. He goes, I'll pay you tomorrow. He goes, don't worry about it. I don't need it. I got too much of it. So,
wow, imagine saying that.
Yeah.
Must be a nice feeling.
But I gave it to him the next day.
Did you?
So that kept me with Hulk. That's what I always feel. Because if you do that with a guy, you're never the same with the guy, right?
It's like what happened with, funny enough, again, hate to bury him, but Tony and Rocky Johnson. Tony was having a hard time. I think he was behind on his rent one month or something, and it came up in a conversation, and Rocky sent his new wife down to like a Western Union type place to send Tony the money. Then the next time they were on the same show together after they got paid by the promoter, Tony just kind of snuck off without saying anything to Rocky.
What a fucker.
So
that's
Rocky was a little stiff with him in a couple of interviews he did right before he passed
he should
away.
be. He should
Well,
be.
he tried to do him a favor, if nothing else. But Tony said, in Tony's, to be fair to Tony, he said Rocky did a few unscrupulous things to him over the years, stranding him at buildings and at hotels and trying to make him look bad. Again, who knows?
I don't buy
the
it.
100% truth to that.
I don't buy it.
We weren't. I wasn't there.
I don't buy. I
don't
buy it. I don't buy it. I'll tell you why. Because any guy can say that. You can say anything. You can screw a guy out of $1,000 and then go, yeah, but I remember one night I gave him 2 of my tires off my car because he needed them. And just make up something. To me, it's bullshit. Sorry. Don't work. Not on me.
So you're a man
You
entitled
might
to
be
your
right.
opinions.
I'm not going to bet you no more, but you're
20 in the hole, brother.
I know.
Fans,
You
I'm
might
gonna
be
tell
right.
You this. When we have our live episodes, we need you to help us come up with some competitions so John can win his $20 back.
I need that 20 back. I'm in a real shithole right now.
As far as you mentioned the professional side, the personal side of the Hulkster with the 500, what did you think about him as a pro? I don't think you really worked with him too much. Yeah.
Here's the thing. You want to hear the bottom line with the Hulkster? Okay, you're all beat up. Kurt Hennig, if he was alive, he'd be so beat up. All the bumps he took, all the bumps I took, all the bumps a lot of guys have taken. Hulkster did 2 things. This and dropped the leg. And me and Brad Rangans, we kind of laugh. We go, he must have calluses all over on his fucking leg from the guitar. Boy, that's a rough life. That fucking guitar will kill you. You know, he only did 2 fucking things, just and dropped the leg. How beat up are you going to be? I mean, I got guys tell me, like Wayne Bloom, I got in an argument with him, and he goes, yeah, but fuck, he's been working a long time. I said, Wayne, he dropped a leg and did this. Fuck, what's wrong with you? Fuck, I get every backward over the table, on my table, on the post. He did none of that. And you're feeling sorry for him? Sorry. That fucking cat don't work like that. That's what I got to say about that.
A lot of people said he was kind of a manipulative individual, a very self-serving individual. Did you ever see that side? Yeah, you saw that?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of guys like that in wrestling because that's the nature of wrestling. When we get to other guys, I'll tell you who's really bad, but we can't get there yet. Hulk, absolutely self-serving. Very much.
Do you think it was a necessity based upon the nature of the beast? Like you said, you never know how much you're going to get paid. There's very few guarantees. Everything's locked in the world.
Well, here's the thing.
Do you think maybe he was, not to borrow a line from what you said about Randy Savage, but paranoid about keeping that spot and that money?
Well, listen, but here's the thing, Dan. How much money do you need? You got $30 million in the bank. You own an island. And you're still paranoid? Why would you be paranoid? Well, you're set for life. And because you kept chasing the money, because you stayed paranoid still, you lost your wife. She took it all blew up. You fucking ended up with almost nothing, but now you're back on
Isn't it funny, though, yeah, that his life almost imploded between that, what happened with his son, and that car accident that took place?
Yep. His son was just a little fuckhead. You know that.
And then after that whole sex video thing, he's back up on top of the world again.
Yeah, yeah. How much did you win on that?
I think if I remember right, he got about $140 million. I don't think he collected anywhere near that, but
well, I don't know.
I'm sure
I don't think you could collect that. I mean, who?
Well, that's what he was awarded. But I know it was appealed.
Right.
For some reason, the number 40 popped into my head.
Well, doesn't matter. If it's in the millions, who cares if it's 1 or 100 million?
It was just a little.
To us, it's the same. It's a million.
As the Sheik would say, it was just a little sex.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, fans, right now we're going to take a brief time out before we wrap up this show as I'm waiting for John C. Manicus Riley to hit the mill. There he is. Hopefully you'll be having a little sex, too, after we're back from this brief timeout. Wrestling fans, Saturday and Sunday night, go back in time with WWF legend, the Berzerker, John Nord, host of our weekly Thursday night program, Wrestling Insider's Throwback Thursdays. We'll be taping Wrestling Insider episodes, watch-alongs, live episodes, cyber autographs, signings, and more. Saturday night, we go back in time to relive WWF Royal Rumble 1992 together. Then, for this week's Sunday Night Live, it's Royal Rumble 1993. Head on over to BostonWrestling.com to pre-order your 8x10 photos and 11x14 posters now to help keep wrestling legends working and bring you more superstars in studio. Join the Berzerker live this weekend. Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marotti.
And this is the man of the hour, Leo Rush.
It's all over BostonWrestling.com and our social media. But Leo, brother, they got to check out some of this merch.
They got to.
Check it out, fans, right now, available on eBay. Arguably the greatest professional wrestler of all time. Get this limited edition collector's autograph print, personally signed by two-time WWE Hall of Famer Nature Boy Ric Flair, inscribed 16 times for each of his recognized World Championship reigns. One of only 50 made direct from our friends at WWE. Also signed by original artist Rob Schamberger. Help keep wrestling legends working. Get this awesome Ric Flair collectible for your wrestling collection now. All right, wrestling fans, another fun trip down memory lane as we looked at the event that was WrestleMania 7, many of the personalities involved in the big event. John, we continue to be having a heck of a lot of fun here on Thursday nights.
And again, folks, along with the Thursday nights we're
Thursday
talking about,
throwbacks, baby.
he's going to be coming back live, and we're talking in the month of January.
Yes, baby.
We're going to be doing the cyber autograph signings. You guys can ask him questions live on the computer. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you missed the big Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive event we had with John back in December, have no fear. In the month of January, WWE's getting ready for a Royal Rumble. We're going to have a Rumble right in this studio. For the latest, greatest member of the Boston Wrestling Sports team, I'm Dan Marotti. Don't forget, tickets on sale now for Saturday night, April the 16th. You can meet John Nord, the Berzerker, in person, Axe and Smash Demolition, Jake the Snake Roberts, and a host of others. For John Nord, I'm Dan Marotti. You and yours be well, be healthy. Good night from
Thank you
Boston.
very much.
Wrestling fans in the Northeast, discount VIP packages and tickets to Boston Wrestling MWF Soul Survivor 10 Back to the 80s are on sale now. Jake the Snake Roberts, Axe and Smash Demolition, and the Berzerker are just 4 of at least 8 80s WWF icons that will be joining us live at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. Saturday, April the 16th, there will be a VIP exclusive Q&A session, autographs, pose photos, then the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow will light up the squared circle like it's Times Square on New Year's Eve. Join us for a party to celebrate the legends of the rockin' wrestling era. Get the best seats in the house. Save now at bostonwrestling.com. We'll see you live on April the 16th.
Cheer! Why, hello! I would ask what was on your mind, but I already know. You want to know what has got my beard looking oh so majestic. And I'll tell you, it's sexy as hell beard care. Coconut oil, vitamin E oil, almond oil, both sweet and bitter, shea butter, it's all natural. Yes, JTG has actually come out with a high quality product. So support your boy by going to sahbeardcare.com and take one step closer to becoming sexy as hell. Cheer. Ooh, cheer. You know?
Fans, did you enjoy having the Berzerker with us or what? He'll be with us again each and every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after Impact Wrestling on AXS TV for more must-see viewing. Don't forget, the Berzerker is scheduled to be with us live tonight and live tomorrow night for special watch-alongs and cyber autograph signings. You're not going to want to miss the fun. Speaking of not wanting to miss the fun, fans in the Northeast, don't forget that discount VIP packages and tickets are on sale now at the Boston Wrestling Sports Soul Survivor 10 Back to the 80s, Saturday, April the 16th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts, featuring WWE Hall of Famer Jake the Snake Roberts, 3-time WWE Tag Team Champions Axe and Smash Demolition, the Berzerker himself, and at least 4 more to be added. The event features a VIP exclusive Q&A session, an autograph photo fan fest, all before the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow light up the squared circle like no tomorrow. Head on over to bostonwrestling.com now to save money and get the best seats in the house. Also, don't forget, fans, don't forget that the Boston Wrestling eBay store is open for business 24/7 with great wrestling merchandise of superstars from every era. Click the link in the description box below or click the store button on bostonwrestling.com. Coming up next, it's the father figure of Boston Wrestling Sports, the one and only WWE Monday Night Raw main eventer himself, John Cena Sr. This week, Cena Sr. is back discussing Tony Storm's WWE release, the Austin Theory Vince McMahon dynamic, Kyle O'Reilly in AEW, the Owen Hart dual tournaments in AEW, and tons more.
Wrestling fans, it's a big weekend here in the world of Boston Wrestling. We're so happy you decided to join us for Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Fridays. Dan Marotti along with Majo Let's Main Squeeze, John Cena Sr. Big weekend ahead, Johnny. A man that the fans are very impressed. Makes me look so small. The Berzerker John Nord is going to be in the hot seat all weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. He's looking forward to meeting you. He said he thinks for the first time.
I will definitely check my calendar. I'm looking forward to meeting him.
Have you ever met the Berzerker that you can recall?
Never.
No.
Never. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. 22nd, 23rd, 24th.
Tomorrow night, baby, and then Sunday, and then Monday. So
I'll
you got
make it-
options.
I'll make it a
You
point.
got options.
I'll make it a point.
Hopefully, the lovely Moniz will be able to join us.
You take him to the Kowloon?
We can get her. He went last time. He was with us.
He enjoyed it,
Andy,
right?
Oh, boy, did he love it.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get Moniz a little Viking helmet.
By the way, Happy New Year to my friends at the Kowloon.
When is the Chinese New Year?
Well, no, I'm giving them our New Year. Their New Year will be coming.
Oh, I know that's the only Sunday night of the year they're closed.
Right,
Is on that.
right,
Oh, I thought I might have missed it.
No.
You're just wishing him a happy New Year in general.
Yeah.
I see. Well, it's always great to see Andy. I don't know if Andy realized it was the Berzerker. Andy was quite busy that night. He only had a chance to briefly pop by the table, but always good to see our longtime, close personal friend dating back to the mid-'90s, Andy Wong. And hopefully he'll be there not just this weekend, but next weekend too for Royal Rumble weekend. You made the announcement earlier this month. Things are going to get a little dirty in this studio,
Absolutely.
Johnny. Things are getting dirty.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about the bill at Red Lobster.
No, we're talking about Zeb Coulter, Dirty Dutch Mantel.
Author of 2 fine books, manager of a plethora of great superstars, booked a hell of a territory in Memphis and Puerto Rico, left blood all over this continent. It's going to be an honor to have him finally make his way to the studio. He's been with us for a few WrestleMania weekends around the country, but never here in this fine studio. The one time he was going to join us, he ran into a little health blip, and we had to postpone it, but he is finally coming. What a month we have, Johnny. And again, all roads lead back to Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts, Saturday night, April the 16th. Boston Wrestling's Soul Survivor 10. We're going back to the 80s. Jake the Snake Roberts, Axe and Smash Demolition, the Berzerker. I understand there could be even more announcements. Royal Rumble Saturday this year, not Royal Rumble Sunday. I think WWE made the wise choice to go the route of the Rumble on the Saturday, but that's just one man's opinion.
Well, we'll wait and see, but I'm sure there's more announcements.
Well, we know there's more announcements, fans. Again, get those VIP packages and tickets now at bostonwrestling.com. If you wait until the last minute, the price, just like last time, it's going to go up a little bit because it just adds more work to a very busy time. We want you guys to get the best value and the best seats as humanly possible because we love you. Because without you, there is no April 16th. Without you, there is no Fabulous Fridays or Throwback Thursdays with John Nord or whatever we call the show with Dutch Mantel or everything else we do here in this crazy world. Never mind the great help we have like Howard Miller, like Jackie the Joke Man, like John C. Manicus Riley, and a lot of the other great staffers we have here in the MWF studios. If we didn't have them, we'd have nothing. We'd be sitting here in a dark room.
Well,
even though it's semi-dark, but they're still working on the
we
lights.
have light. Don't worry about this, electric company and the studio. We'll get it done.
All right, Johnny. We were told we had to have an abbreviated episode tonight, which is better than no episode at all. I have been, as you know, going back and forth to NYC, back and forth to the Sunshine State on a few projects I'm working on, and the studio needs to get everything ready for the Berzerker tomorrow night, Johnny. But some news to try and catch up on. The lovely Toni Storm of WWE, as Gorilla Monsoon would say, stick a fork in her, she's done, leaving WWE. Were you surprised to see a lovely 26-year-old, she hasn't even hit the prime of her career yet, ask for her walking papers?
I think there reaches a point in life where you either had it or you want to continue with it. And sometimes we think that the buffet is the best choice, but really we should have just had a plate. So I give her credit. I give her credit for saying, I'm finished. I think I've had it. Where she goes from here, that's up to her. But I think it takes an awful lot to make that decision, because when you ask for your release, that's a big thing, let me tell you.
Ballsy?
Well, she's got the look, she has the ability, but maybe it's just not for her.
Well, there wasn't a lot of sizzle between the feud between her and Charlotte. Maybe the problem was she didn't recognize Charlotte with all of the work that was done in the face.
Overshadowed, maybe. Yeah, there's a lot that she did the right thing.
in those vignettes that Vince McMahon has done with Austin Theory on Raw. I don't know if you've seen them, but he keeps showing off the eraser, and I keep saying, is that what happened to Charlotte? Did he just erase some of her?
Oh my God! Between that and the egg, you know what? I see you're laughing, and you should. I just sit back and go.
That's how bad it's gotten.
It's really off the wall. Not good at all. Wake up or lose.
We spoke a little bit previously about the whole Vince McMahon-Austin Theory dynamic, where it allows Vince to be in an office as opposed to outside in the ring. I don't want to say exposing the fact that he's a man in his mid-70s, but do you think that's a better execution of him? You know, as a power broker in the office at the arena trying to educate and navigate this young potential future superstar in his company? Or do you think Vince should be front and center in the squared circle?
Well, let's put it this way. Knowing the man, he could go in that circle and still kick ass. So he could be either place. So age, just a number, just a number. The new plan of making him the planner, the executive, I'll get you where you need to be, I think that's good. He's always had that evil little look about him, so it's playing out well. But I would never, ever, I don't care how old he is, ever count him out in that ring.
Then why isn't he out there then?
Because whoever is writing this, and it might be himself, is what his ultimate plan is to be this character, this individual. Maybe what's happening is maybe Shane or Stephanie will be taking the in-ring job from Vince. He's still with it. He's still there. And knowing Vince, you know, once in a while he'll pop up where you least expect it.
Would you like to see Shane O'Mac back for WrestleMania season?
Wrestling?
Either or.
You know what? You use the term long in the tooth. There's some things I'll do and won't do in the business anymore because as you get older, you get a little smarter.
Mm-hmm.
I think Shane has proved himself several times at the biggest show on earth. Shane involved in any event, backstage, out front, is a gift. It's a gift to the talent. It's a gift to the company. I think now what needs to happen is if you want to make those appearances, I would do what Vince did, be that evil God guy and just rile him from the outside. Do what Vince and Shane did best, tag teams. And like you said, not 52 weeks a year, but that 6-month deal, 3-month deal, I think that would go over. A new face, a new talent. It's time for change.
Well, he took that hellacious bump last year at Raymond James Stadium when live crowds returned to wrestling from Braun Strowman. And even though he took the hellacious bump, only one man remains standing in WWE at this point. And it's not Braun Strowman. But no, I think Shane McMahon in any variety is a good thing. I think he has great personality, great delivery, and you know what? In moderation, I think even in the squared circle, maybe a managerial role or almost like Vince, Shane has to be almost the age that Vince was when Vince McMahon became the evil Vince McMahon persona in '97.
Correct.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty close.
Absolutely correct.
Did you ever do the coast to coast, Johnny, in some of your matches?
No.
No. Have you ever thought about it at this point?
No.
Do you think you could pull it off?
Probably.
Really? Really? Are you upset that Shane McMahon at WrestleMania 32 prior to his match against The Undertaker had $1 million Shane McMahon bills fall from the ceiling? You think maybe he borrowed that idea from you?
All I'm going to say is this about that. How about it?
All right.
When I was involved with WWE, the man, Vince, came over and he said, how would you feel? He said, gimmick infringement. Let's get out of here, gimmick infringement. Go for it. Use $1 million bills.
Oh, and he asked you if they could do it with Shane?
He's a great guy. He's a great.
I didn't know
he was
that.
going to do it himself. His face is on $1 million bills. You know that. Vince McMahon.
Right. No, but I'm talking about Shane.
No,
not
I don't
Vince.
really care.
All right.
No, I think it's an honor because you know what?
But do you think they got the idea from you?
I don't really know.
Yeah.
All I know is this. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. If they did get it from me, thank you, Vince. Thank you, Shane O'Mac. Thank you, JBL. You know what? It's a gimmick. I don't have a copyright on it. Anybody can do it.
Anyone can have
so
it
have
made,
some
yeah.
fun. Enjoy it. If it adds to the storyline, take anything I use or do, it's yours.
Well, it's a good way to look at it. But WrestleMania season is fast approaching. Johnny, someone we're not going to see making a surprise appearance in the Royal Rumble is Kyle O'Reilly, formerly of the Undisputed Era in WWE NXT. Certainly a match for match, one of my favorites to watch. He had some matches of the year in 2021 with Finn Balor. He has moved on to join his former stablemates Adam Cole and Bobby Fish in AEW. Do you think Kyle O'Reilly made the right move?
Yes.
Why is that?
Yes, because everybody is flooded with talent. And look at the way he was being used. So I think, you reach a point in your career, and I've done with some of the indie guys. I'll do anything. Believe me, my job is to put them over, not to be the superstar. But there reaches a point where, hey, wait a minute, you know what? You're not using him the right way, and you're not using me the right way. Do I have input into the storyline? No, it's my way or the highway. Bye. Because you have to make a decision what's best for you. You understand something. You work hard to develop a character. I'll give you an example. People don't think I'm John Cena's father. I just had a thing
Really?
with Tommy Nash. No, he's not. He's an actor. I am the real deal. He is my son. And
He came from your loins.
But I don't flaunt that. I never have and never will.
Your loins?
No, the fact that, oh, wow. When you walk into a locker room, hi, Johnny Fabulous, Cena Sr. That's it. But when they start to interfere, when you build a character and they want to do something to demean it or ruin it, I don't mind you doing that, but let's take a different swerve. And when they won't listen, bye. It's time to get out. It's time to get out. And it's like that Rocky Johnson thing, God rest his soul. I'm not going to let a legend and a Hall of Famer, me, go over that person. Come on, let's be real now. You have to be real about what you do here. So, good luck to him. He did the right thing.
I couldn't see him go, as much as I hate to say it, the way WWE is going, him doing much of any consequence on Raw or SmackDown with the way he looks. He just doesn't have that billboard type.
That's right.
NXT was great. I think AEW he's going to deliver in the ring. But as far as a Raw or SmackDown, I think he would have sat in catering, or he would have been laying on his back an awful lot before he was released.
Like Doherty looking up.
Yeah.
Remember he said I could
The
tell
Duke, baby.
Yep.
Our old friend, the Duke.
I
hope
can
he's
tell you
doing
every
well.
number of retired jersey that's up there. And what a great man. Great man.
Hopefully the Duke is doing well, and we know he's had some health problems in recent years. Would love to see him back here in this studio
I'd
again.
love to see him.
Or at a live event. The Duke is a good man. Right now, fans, you want to talk about a big event? We've spoken about it before. Again, Saturday night, April the 16th, all roads. Even Quincy Rastani's 1978 Honda-Matic motorcycle is headed to Memorial Hall in Melrose when we present to you Soul Survivor 10, Back to the 80s.
Fans, we warned you this day would come. Unfortunately, we're running out of original episodes of Wrestling Insider's Party with Marty each and every Thursday night at 10 p.m., but we're starting up that Indiegogo. You can help the cause. You can help Marty's show continue each and every week. Nobody does it like Marty. We had an incredible time with him at our 20th anniversary bash, November 13th at Memorial Hall here in Melrose. We want to have the good times keep on rolling, but we can't do it without you. Look for the Indiegogo link in the comment section below or across our website and social media platforms. We have some great perks, great rewards where you can even meet Marty himself. There's nothing like it. Since July of 2020, every week we've brought you the show. We need your help to keep on going. We tell you, without wrestling fans, there is no professional wrestling, and there's no better time to help the cause now. Let's keep Marty rocking each and every Thursday night.
Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marotti.
And this is the man of the hour, Leo Rush.
It was all over BostonWrestling.com and our social media. But Leo, brother, they got to check out some of this merch.
They got to.
Check it out, fans, right now, available on eBay.
As the Demon, he became the first WWE Universal Champion at SummerSlam 2016. Here's your chance to own this limited edition collector's autographed art print, personally signed by Finn Balor, one of only 50 made, direct from our friends at WWE. Also signed by original artist Rob Schamberger. Help keep wrestling legends working. Get this awesome collectible for your wrestling collection now. Wrestling fans, on Royal Rumble Saturday, January the 29th, things are getting a little dirty. That's right. Joining us live in studio for the very first time will be our longtime friend, the legendary Zeb Coulter, a.k.a. Dirty Dutch Mantel. Dutch will be with us all weekend for Wrestling Insider tapings, Patreon watch-alongs, live episodes, and cyber autograph signings. Plus, Dutch will be watching the Royal Rumble with us. For more information and autograph photos, head on over to BostonWrestling.com.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back to this abbreviated version of Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Fridays. Dan Marotti, John Cena Sr. Fridays is turning into a lot of fans' favorite night of the week. They got the SmackDown, they got the AEW Rampage, then they know they got old J-Fab. But Johnny, we were talking about it during the commercial break. Have you ever ridden a 1978 Honda-Matic? Were you ever a motorcycle guy? Never.
Nope.
Would you like to ride Quincy's motorcycle?
Nope.
Well, it says Quincy on the side, so I don't think you'd be able to steal it and get away with it.
God bless Quincy Rustani. Great guy, great human being. Give you the shirt off his back.
He would.
I respect that man completely.
Really?
Yep. He's
Well,
great. Yep.
much like Paul Bearer, you've done an about-face on Quincy Rustani. At one point, you weren't his biggest fan. Paul Bearer detested Quincy Rustani.
He can get under your skin. There's no question about that. There's no question about that. But you know what?
He has his live show when he does watch-alongs with the All Wrestling Challenge program, and the fans have a lot of fun with it. The only problem is they think it's a repeat every week because Quincy has 7 different wardrobes, one for each day of the week, so he has the same shirt on every Thursday. But it is original every week. It's not a repeat, or they're not all taped in the same day.
Well, I think you and I taped a show, and I think for those series that we did, we never changed shirts.
Well, we'll tape a few episodes at a time, but with Quincy, his is live every week, but it's still the same colored salmon shirt that he got for $3
help the kid out.
At a thrift shop.
Help him out.
Well,
Give him a different
what
shirt.
we're trying to do is with the fan donations, he needs a refurbished 78 Honda-Matic so he can take the parts from it and put it into the one he has now. So that's why we've started doing it. And hopefully within a couple of months we'll have enough to, I don't know what a refurbished 1978 Honda-Matic would go for, but we'll have to wait and see, Johnny.
Anybody out there know what a 1978 Honda-Matic would go for? How about putting it right at the bottom?
It's in the 3 digits, I will say that much. It's when we're not looking for big money.
And if you got anybody out there that's willing to donate some time and parts to help get Quincy on the road, come on, let's give it up. Let's go.
Maybe he could ride with John Nord. Could you?
All right, now he's getting tired, folks.
Could you picture that duo out riding together?
Yeah, 7
Rustani
feet.
and Nord?
No. Rustani?
And Nord.
TC Rustani?
No, Quincy Rustani.
Oh.
Please. And John Nord.
It ain't going to work.
You don't think? No. All right. Even with helmets on? Well, I'd like to see it. I know I'd like to see it. Johnny, we talked a little bit about Kyle O'Reilly, headed over to AEW. One thing, I think we use the term a little long in the tooth sometimes. I think it's going to turn into something a little long in the tooth. But beginning this spring, there's going to be both a male, again, we talk about having both male and female, but in AEW they're going the route of having both a male and female Owen Hart tournament that's going to go from the spring all the way through Labor Day, which sounds like it's going to be a pretty big tournament. But your thoughts on the Owen Hart tournament coming to not WWE, but AEW, where Dr. Martha Hart will present the winner of these tournaments. I don't know if it'll be with a trophy, but some kind of recognition Labor Day weekend at their pay-per-view in Chi-Town, where Owen competed at SummerSlam 94 against his brother in a 15-foot-high steel cage.
Well, first of all, about our young man who left, I was going to make the comment before. This is what happens when you bring people into NXT. they're great down there, but then when you have to move, O'Reilly, when you have to move them up to the roster, it doesn't work. They should think about that before they bring them in there. That's my comment on that. As far as this tournament, God rest his soul, Owen Hart, I thought he was great. He was a great performer. He knew the business. He cared about it. A tragic loss to family,
a waste of life,
and business. To have a tournament last that long, to me, is not going to go. It's well,
4,
but you know
5,
what?
6 months. That's a long
how much?
tournament. Could be 4, 5, 6 months if they start in the spring,
Thank
and it's
you.
not going to end until Labor Day.
No, so that's too much spaghetti being fed at one time.
And 2 of them. You're going to have a male and female simultaneously.
They're not
2
going to
tournaments.
alternate. They're just they're going to.
How they're going to do that, I don't know.
Well,
but
I just think it's a mistake.
it's too long, I think.
Thank you. Well, that's what I'm trying to say. It's a mistake.
I think it might make for a fun TV special.
2 months.
I think it might make fun for a big pay-per-view like King of the Ring. Like what you said, maybe you have some qualifying matches, then the night of a pay-per-view, you have a couple of the final 2 rounds or something like that. But for it to go from potentially
6 months.
I mean, April or May through September, that's
Spring
a
is
hell
in
of a
March.
tournament.
So March 21st, April 21st, May 21st, June 21st, July 21st, August 21st, September 4th.
My birthday is when summer ends.
6 months. 6 months. And
It's
that's
a long tournament.
That's a long, long time to do that. And I'm going to tell you what, unless it's high caliber and holds very suspenseful pro wrestling, it's not going to work.
As much as Owen has missed, I think they're going to get to the point where people are going to lose interest.
I would rather see them create an Owen Hart trophy, Owen Hart award, maybe give that at the end of 6 months or a year to those 2 performers who have done above and beyond outstanding. And, to me, that makes more sense. But to go 6 months in a tournament, it's not going to happen. That's
2 tournaments. I think that makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Not just 1, 2.
No, that's like gauntlet matches. Those things they've seen their day. I'm not a fan of the gauntlet match. It gets boring. It gets tiresome. It's like I'd rather see the Royal Rumble. At least Pat Patterson, God rest his soul, had the right idea on that. Vince didn't believe it would work, and it did. So I think those are the kind of things that fans look for. But as soon as you try to make money off of those types of things, male, female, 6 months out, people are going to go, you talk about getting up and leaving. I don't care if it's male or female. I'm tired. Click. See you later. Bye.
Do you think potentially, even though there have been issues in the past between Owen's widow and the Hart family, that maybe it could open the door for Bret Hart to come to AEW? Bret was part of AEW's first pay-per-view and showcased the AEW championship belt. I don't think he realized that AEW was going to become quite what it was as far as his interactions with WWE goes. I don't know if he still has a Legends deal of some kind, but certainly there's a lot of Bret Hart merchandise made. But could you see Bret, like a lot of the other active superstars and a lot of legends we've seen, make the big jump from Stamford, Connecticut to the world of AEW?
I'd have to say yes to that. Bret's a businessman. Bret loves the business. And I think if it was in his interest and the best interest of the fans and the Hart family, I think you'd see that. The question becomes with Natalya still with WWE, whether that's really going to happen.
A burial of Natalya?
Yeah. That's. I still like Natalya.
No, big fan of yours. I know that. She's spoken very highly of you on social media in the past.
She's a sweetheart. Great person.
All right. Well, Johnny, it'd be interesting to see who and how this tournament is going to be executed. If it's single elimination, we could be in for a long spring and summer.
Oh, I can't. I feel so bad. I do, because AEW is really heated up. They've proven that they are, regardless of what people say. Oh, they're not a threat. They are a threat. They get the barrel looking right down at your head. So if you don't believe somebody's going to pull that trigger, be careful. Be careful. Never doubt. Never doubt. And to do this, no, 6 months. Like I say, why not establish an Owen Hart trophy, like an Andre the Giant trophy?
Right.
for the male and female perform. Why not do that kind of thing? That makes sense. But to drag this out for 6 months?
Do you think that WWE is a little maybe jealous that AEW was able to put this deal together with the Owen Hart Foundation and that they were kind of left out in the dust? You think maybe they could have, or do you think there was a way they could have made greater reparations with Owen's widow and family?
You know, that's been a sore spot for a long time. And I'm not so sure that his widow would want to do business with WWE. So you may have a willing party, but you get this one person that says never. So I think the best decision was made. They say, let it go. It's going to be 6 months too long. She says, I'll prove you wrong. I'll go over here and do it. So there are a lot of things that people try to do in memory of our brothers and sisters who are no longer with us that don't necessarily work. And I think, you know, when you look at WWE, unless they do one male-female match a month for 6 months, that might make sense. But to try to do this over a 6 month period is just, it's not going to work. And like I say, the Hearts were not of the best, especially his
The widow, right, right. Well, the rest of the Hearts, I'm sure they'd be lining up almost like at a soup kitchen for the payday, the way they were. If you remember that WrestleMania 26 when Brett went back to work Vince. But never say never in wrestling, but that one, I think that's pretty close. I don't know if Dr. Martha Hart is ever going to want to engage with them with all the bad blood that came from that lawsuit that followed the unfortunate passing of Owen back in May of 1999 in Kansas City. But again, running out of time here. Again, abbreviated episode. Big weekends ahead, Johnny. Tomorrow, we're going to have the wild, unpredictable Berzerker here with us. And then a week from tomorrow, things are going to get, as we said, a little dirty here in the studio. A little dirty. Ooh. We're not talking about some of the members. We're talking about Dirty Dutch Mantel, a.k.a. Zeb Coulter is going to be here. He wants to reminisce about that legendary WrestleMania weekend dinner at Red Lobster down in Orlando. And you talk about the Montreal screw job. Oh. We had the Orlando screw job when we saw the bill with about six Schweppes on the bill.
That was unbelievable. I don't want to go there anymore.
It was the Orlando screw job.
Thank you. Yep, it was terrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible.
And Johnny, with us being now just a little bit over a week away from the Rumble, in case we don't have a chance to cover it, any big predictions for the Rumble? Lashley or Lesnar? Who goes over? Could
Interference by Roman Reigns, no winner.
Indecisive match?
Indecisive.
Do you have a prediction for the female Rumble? Whose turn is it this year that has to have their chance to win? So everybody can win, and everybody can be the champion. Who will it be this time? Will it be Sasha, so her 80-pound body that'll probably be injured 6 times this year can say, oh, I finally won. I won the Rumble. Let me cry. Let me do my Eddie Guerrero and Randy Savage cosplay moves. Will it be Sasha's year? And I like Sasha. That was kind of cruel, but you know what? It sucks. But anyway, do you have a prediction?
No.
No. And what about in the men's Rumble? Where it's kind of an interesting year where so much is unknown about the direction of the championship belts due to what happened at day one in Atlanta.
Surprise entrant.
You think it's going to be a surprise winner?
Cena's coming back.
You? Or your son? Wouldn't that be something?
That would be wouldn't you write it that way?
Unless,
if you could do it.
But here's the thing. What's going to happen if what we had talked
that
about,
won't happen.
rumor-wise, champion versus champion, what would you do in that case? If Brock clashed with Roman, how would you have a men's Royal Rumble winner? Interesting. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. That's why, other than WrestleMania, I have to say, Johnny, it's my favorite pay-per-view of the year.
Been there, done it.
The Royal Rumble?
No. Well, I've been to both. My whole thing is the greatest show on earth. I've done it several times. It doesn't change. It's the big stars, the boom, the bang. The 2 days I wasn't a fan of. I'm still not. The Royal Rumble, I think that was a great concept, a great idea. Everybody uses it. You've used it. I've been in shows where we've used it.
You
It
think
is what it
Johnny
is.
Knoxville has a chance?
No,
No. Are you sure about that?
I'm positive.
All right. All right, wrestling fans, do you think Johnny Knoxville has a chance to win the Royal Rumble this year as the celebrity entrant? Leave your thoughts in the Premier chat to my right. Again, any thoughts of the Rumble, the Berzerker coming to town, Dutch Mantel coming to town, and you, your friends, your family, all coming here to downtown Melrose, Massachusetts, Saturday night, April the 16th, when Boston Wrestling goes back to the 80s with Jake the Snake Roberts, Axe and Smash Demolition, the Berzerker, and so many more to be announced. We got the Autograph Photo Fan Fest, the VIP exclusive Q&A. Then when all of that is said and done, baby, the bell is going to ring. Phil the Sassery is going to take that mic and get things pumped up as the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow blow the roof off of Memorial Hall in Melrose. And the plaster is already falling, but the roof could be gone with the hot action we have coming April the 16th. VIP packages and tickets on sale now at bostonwrestling.com. Save some cash. Get the best seats in the house. For John Cena Sr., I'm Dan Morita. Get ready for a wild, unpredictable weekend with the Berzerker. Huss! Huss! Huss!
No matter how wild and crazy things get here in Boston wrestling, and believe me, they get wild and crazy, you can always count on John Cena Sr. to be that calming presence, except when he's with the women. You know, he had that situation with Maurice's mother, Marjo Ouellette, of Ms. and Mrs. fame. If you get down to Universal Studios City Walk in Orlando, Florida, there's a hostess at the Hard Rock Cafe named Mama. That has a lot to say about John Cena Sr., but he'll be back each and every week with a brand new episode Friday nights at 11 p.m. after SmackDown and AEW Rampage. Always interesting insight, again, from the man that main evented WWE Raw, a man that promoted spot shows for the WWF in the 1970s before he became a father. Always interesting to hear from Johnny. Well, folks, unfortunately, it's that time of week again, but don't worry, we still have a lot more to come tonight and tomorrow night. We remind you that we're expecting the Berzerker to be with us live at 7 p.m. for a Royal Rumble 1992 watch-along and cyber autograph signing. Link can be found in the Premier chat and comment section below. Pre-order your autographed 8x10 photos and 11x14 posters now. It helps us bring you these superstars live in studio. We're going to have fun watching Royal Rumble 1992 tonight. Then tomorrow night, it's Sunday Night Live at 6 p.m. Berzerker will be back. Cyber autograph signings, questions for the super chatters as we enjoy Royal Rumble 1993. Fans, don't forget, get your discount VIP packages and tickets now to our Soul Survivor 10 Back to the 80s live event and fan fest ASAP. At bostonwrestling.com, we should be having another great talent announcement on Royal Rumble Saturday when Dutch Mantel, a.k.a. Zeb Coulter, will be with us live in studio. Again, if you're looking for cool merchandise to add to your collection, the Boston Wrestling eBay store is open for business. Link can be found in the description box below, or just click the store button on bostonwrestling.com. We're working our asses off to get Marty Jannetty back in studio ASAP for a brand new season of Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. You can directly help by supporting our prize-filled Indiegogo campaign. Link can be found in the description box below across our social media platforms. And again, folks, don't forget to join the Boston Wrestling Patreon family during these cold winter months at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Another very busy week. I'm still trying to get caught back up on my work after being away from the studio for a few days. It was nice to literally sit by the pool for about an hour and 15 minutes. An hour and 15 minutes. Got a little bit of sun. You know what? Sometimes, though, you got to be grateful for what you can get. I was mentally exhausted from this one as well, as it was certainly a busy few days, is what's gearing up to be a huge winter leading to an even bigger spring. Again, folks, if you enjoyed tonight's supersized episode, don't forget the Super Chat button is open for business. Don't forget to tip the bartender for the hours of wrestling history and memories we just gave you. Again, I hate to say it, but if you can afford it, don't be cheap. Throw us a couple bucks. We just gave you hours of great wrestling history and wrestling talk. Every single dollar helps us bring you more superstars. So until we speak again, folks, I'll be back next week with another Wrestling Insiders Week in Review. Hopefully you'll be joining us with the Berzerker a little bit later on. Until we speak again, you and yours, be healthy, be safe. Good night from Boston. Thank you for joining us. Please give the video a big thumbs up, leave us a comment, and subscribe to the channel to enjoy more great content. Don't forget, you can help keep wrestling legends working. Check out our eBay store and join the Boston Wrestling family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling so we can produce more in-depth shoot interviews.